this group of women is we are tight, we are together, and everything that we do as an individual is for the good of the team.
Alex is someone I've always looked up to. I learn from her every day. She continuously wants to learn, even from us, and I am so honoured to be in that situation.
Hello and welcome to the Lee Valley Hockey and Tennis Centre for the National Premier Division League Playoffs. The first game of the day between league champions Surbiton and East Grinstead, who finished fourth in the regular season, will be getting underway in just under 10 minutes. As I said, this is the first of 4 semi-finals to be played today, all brought to you live by Galvanised Hockey on Facebook and on YouTube. Both sides are just completing their warm-ups and they will need it this morning. A crisp, cold morning in London, but it's sure to heat up as the action gets underway. We'll be getting underway at 11 AM. As I said, the first game between Surbiton and East Grinstead. The next game is at 1:15 between Hampstead and Westminster and Beeston. And then it's on to the Investec Women's Hockey League. The first game between Holcombe and Buckingham at 3:30. And the final semi-final of the day at 4:45 between Surbiton and East Grinstead. All the teams playing for a place in the finals tomorrow. An exciting climax to the end of the league season. It is a slightly different format to the games played during the regular season. Today the games will be 60 minutes long, not the usual 70, with a short break at quarter time and a slightly longer break at half time. Also today are the men's and women's promotion and relegation playoffs already underway on pitch 2, with Havant taking on the University of Exeter. But our focus will be here on pitch 1, as the first game getting underway very soon between Surbiton and East Grinstead. Surbiton crowned league champions for the first time in their history, scoring an incredible 76 goals on their way to the title, 28 from the stick of star striker Alan Forsyth. As for East Grinstead, they fought off a number of challenges for the 4th spot and a place in today's playoffs, and they'll be up against it today as they haven't beaten Surbiton in over 6 years. They'll be looking to captain and top goal scorer Simon Faulkner to take them to victory against the stern challenge of Surbiton. He's got 12 goals this season. They also have a number of international talent, a lot of international talent on display today, as the game will get underway in just under 10 minutes. And we're just going to show you some highlights of the games when these two met during the regular season.
After will it go right or left as we look? After the left hand one and the drag slip is a good one down to the right hand side, and James Royce gets his 2nd goal of the season. It is a perfect start for the visitors. 4 minutes in, East Grinstead 0, Surbiton 1. Nothing that Smith can do about that. Grinstead back down their left hand side. It's a Surbiton ball which Goff will take quickly. Goff with Evans inside him. Goff showing good pace. Goff pulls it back. Here's an opportunity for Drayton Charnock! 3-0! Arjun Drayton Charnock with his 1st goal of the season, and with 13 minutes left to play, the point's surely safe for Surbiton now. East Grinstead 0, Surbiton 3. Harry Goff down this right hand flank. Lovely ball to the head of the D. Drayton Charnock gets in front of his man and makes no mistake. Just over 3 minutes remaining. Royce, lovely ball out to that right hand side, and there's acres of space here for Johnny Gall to work it. Gall into Forsyth, and Forsyth drills it past Patrick Smith for his 2nd of the game. We may have missed his 1st, but we certainly saw his 2nd, and Alan Forsyth makes it East Grinstead 0, Surbiton 4. Gall with the ball forward. Forsyth between 2 defenders, and then finishes across the keeper. Penalty corner for the visitors. It's going to be straight off the top. Good save on the line. Falls back to a grateful Van Grossen, who makes it 1-0 inside the 3rd minute. While the East Grinstead women had a very early goal against Surbiton women, and the men have gone even earlier in the 3rd minute. Surbiton 0, East Grinstead 1. The corner for Surbiton. They're going to run a variation off the top slip to Drayton Charner. Shot comes in, back off the keeper, and East Grinstead just about get it clear. I think it was Royce who had the shot cleared. It's taken quickly. Free hit, which Drayton Charner is going to take. Takes it back to 5 and then will go again, looking for the return ball. Drayton Charner still going. Shot comes in at the far post and has been turned in. It's Hayden Belts on the far post, and East Grinstead's lead lasted just 2 minutes. Surbiton 1, East Grinstead 1. A sustained period of pressure from this penalty corner. Drayton Charner playing it back into the danger zone. Keeper makes the save and the defender gets it clear down that left-hand side, but then Drayton Charner exchanging passes on the goal line. Plays it back in and, well, it's almost stopped going in, but in the end, scored by Belts. To that right-hand side for East Grinstead. Surbiton, have they won it back? No, they haven't. East Grinstead go again. That's a high ball, so that is going to be a Surbiton free hit. It's taken quickly. Drayton Charner drops it off. Surbiton pressing. Drayton Charner on the attack, and that's a stick tackle. Is it by Simon Faulkner? Yes, it is. Oh, dearie me, a penalty stroke for Surbiton. Simon Faulkner looks forlorn, but he was coming from the wrong side. Let's have another look. It's a lovely pass to set Drayton Charner in on goal. And as Faulkner goes to ground, coming from behind, does his stick just bounce and hit Drayton Charner's stick? I think that's a good call from the umpire. But Drayton Charner dusts himself off and sends the keeper the wrong way. And with 8 minutes to go, Surbiton lead East Grinstead by 2 goals to 1. And Drayton Charner, well, he's deserved his goal today. He's been excellent.
Just under 5 minutes to go then, until the first semi-final, the Men's Premier Division playoffs. Surbiton and East Grinstead, the team just finishing their pre-match preparations, gathering in the tunnel for the start of this one. As the crowd starts to file into the Lee Valley Hockey and Tennis Centre, there's an early start and plenty of coats and hats on show. It is a cold one here in London with a chilly crosswind going through the stadium. I'm sure will be warmed up by the action as the team's about to come out onto the pitch. See in the tunnel, Alan Forsyth for Surbiton, an incredible 28 goals this season and voted player of the season, as you might be able to hear over the tannoy, receiving his award here of player of the season. He'll be key for Surbiton today as they look to retain their title as the Men's Premier Division champions. East Grinstead, the challengers, they'll be looking, as I said, to their captain Simon Faulkner, who's their top goal scorer this season. He's a penalty corner threat, but also they have a number of international players who will help them, hopefully, for them get past Surbiton. The likes of Reece Smith, Chris Griffiths, and of course, Liam Ansell, their star striker. The team's just about to come out onto the pitch. Play getting underway in just under 2 minutes. The first of 4 semi-finals today at the Lee Valley Hockey and Tennis Centre, brought to you live by Galvanised Hockey on Facebook and on YouTube.
This is the Men's Hockey League first semi-final. Please welcome Surbiton and East Grinstead.
for all involved, and it's good to see that plenty of the players are excited to get underway.
Let's have a look at the two starting lineups in for our first Men's Hockey League semi-final. Surbiton against East Grinstead. For Surbiton, goals number 1, Harry Gibson. The 3, Luke Taylor. 6, Ben.
When I was going through my notes and preparing for today's game, noting down Surbiton key players, I almost didn't have space enough on my sheet of paper for how many stars they have in their squad. Almost all have international caps at one age group level or senior level or another. It'll be a tough test for the challengers. East Grinstead, a club full of history and performance at this level. They have a number of internationals in their ranks. They'll be hoping that they come to the show today, and so are we, hoping for an exciting day at the Lee Valley Hockey and Tennis Centre. The action just about to get underway. First game of the day between Surbiton and East Grinstead.
Surbiton finishing top of the standings in the regular season. 18 matches played, 15 wins, and that's in 47 points. East Grinstead, 8 wins from their 18 matches. And it all comes down to this. It's featuring in the all-star men's teams of the division. Brendan Creed, Sam Spencer, and Alan Forsyth, Surbiton, Simon Faulkner of East Grinstead, making the NHL Premier Division all-star team. Our two officials for our first men's semi-final, Nick Bennett and Paul Walker. So all set there, everyone, to get this game underway. Let's count it in from 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's play.
Alan Forsyth gets the ball underway in the first semi-final of the day between Surbiton and East Grinstead. East Grinstead putting a high press on Surbiton, and Gore plays it into Boone, who's under pressure. It's come to Zach Wallace. Sorry, correction, not Zach Wallace, not the young international for England. He's just on the ball now and playing it back to Gould. And now a slightly deeper press set by East Grinstead. Luke Taylor playing out to Gould. A little show by Gould. Starts to progress down the right-hand side, and here is Zach Wallace at his right half position. And it's an early chance for Alan Forsyth. What a save, Paddy Smith, vital save, but still alive. Rory Patterson trying to get it away for East Grinstead, and he's done pretty well. The tall East Grinstead centre-back. What a chance early on for Alan Forsyth, league top goal scorer. 28 goals in the regular season, not the kind of person you want to be giving a chance to within 30 seconds. Zach Wallace trying to look for Brendan Creed on the opposite side of the pitch, dangerous play. A nervy start for East Grinstead. Alan Forsyth with the hope to do better, but I'm sure he knows that he's going to get another chance later on in the game. East Grinstead's first spell of possession. It's turned over at right half. Really good pressure by Surbiton. Brendan Creed obviously growing his hair for charity, sporting the top knot look. James Gould back to Luke Taylor. Plenty of time at the back for the Surbiton players with the back three. East Grinstead allowing them to have the ball, allowing them to build as they slowly work their way up the pitch. The East Grinstead press. Surbiton players looking to draw them out and create space. And here is space for the likes of Ben Boone, who's turned incredibly. Simon Faulkner has just slipped at the vital moment, just as he got past Faulkner, but he's given the ball back. Boone into Forsyth. Forsyth first touch trying to get past Patterson. He did really well. The East Grinstead fullback, and he's carrying the ball out nicely. And here's the danger man for East Grinstead, Liam Ansell. Nice bit of skill to get inside Ben Boone. And they'll be able to switch the play out wide. Simon Faulkner out to Cliffs on this right-hand side. Nervy start for Clift at right half, put under pressure by James Royce. The second time he's turned it over the right half. Patient build-up again by Surbiton. Johnny Gould making his way up into the East Grinstead half. Zach Wallace up against Chris Griffiths, GB and England teammates obviously in the Pro League. He's looking all the time for Alan Forsyth. Just couldn't connect that time. First time that EG have really tried to play it into the middle, tried to play it into the screens, into Matt Blood. Poor touch by Rory Faulkner, but he's managed to play it into Don Bowden really nicely actually. Good recovery by the right fullback for East Grinstead. And here's the captain, Simon Faulkner, playing it into Blood in the middle. Faulkner just trying to link up Blood down that left-hand side, couldn't quite keep it in. And so they've got to try and look to play it into screen, play it into the middle. Here's Surbiton Ben Boone, he's lightning fast. He's going to take on Patterson, he's judged the tackle to perfection. Big swing by Patterson, lucky that he did take the ball, could have been a bit of trouble. Don Bowden slowing the play down. Roy Patterson seeing a lot of the ball in these early exchanges. Daniel Faulkner coming into fullback. Now pushing Roy Patterson up onto the right hand side. He's picked up a little bit of space and missed touch. Almost had a little bit too much time there, Patterson. May sound a bit funny, but sometimes those, when you've got a bit too much time, can be even harder to trap. Here's David Goodfield working his way on the left hand side, but harassed by three East Grinstead defenders, one of which Reece Smith. Missed a lot of the England and GB stuff through injury, Reece Smith, but he's back for the playoff semi-final. Slight missed touch by Zach Wallace. A few mistakes littering the early exchanges of this game. It is a cold day, the hands might be still cold, may take a while to just warm up and get into it. And also, of course, the pressure, the playoff semi-final. Daniel Faulkner, both sides dropping low with their presses, allowing the back line plenty of time and possession on the ball. And they'll look to spring in here as they play it into the middle and turn it over, as Surbiton have done. Reece Smith's done really well to work it back for East Grinstead. Looks to take it quickly. Umpire Nick Bennett telling him to bring it back. First spell of possession for East Grinstead inside the Surbiton half. And just as I say that, back they come. Rory Patterson, back to Daniel Faulkner. Surbiton adopting a zone press. If you want to picture it, it's almost like a table football pitch. So they've got banks of forwards, midfielders and defenders operating in zones, waiting for East Grinstead to play into spots like that and turn it over. It's Salisbury who's made the turnover, and then they'll look to counter at pace. Salisbury carrying into the 23. Reece Smith backtracking. Seemed to take the ball, but Paul Walker, the umpire, judging a little bit too physical there from Reece Smith, but it was a vital challenge made by the East Grinstead midfielder as Salisbury looked to carry towards the D. Touched by Condon. Spencer back to Luke Taylor, progressing into the East Grinstead half, looking to play a ball into the D. Daniel Faulkner getting a touch. Vital interception by Faulkner, he's looking to free up Griffiths, but he just can't connect to the aerial overthrown. And the ball back in the possession of Surbiton. First chance of the game came within seconds to lead goal scorer Alan Forsyth, with a free shot on goal on his reverse. And since then, it's been pretty cagey between the two sides, not really giving much options or many chances away. Surbiton enjoying a lot of possession. James Gould progressing into the EG 23. Don Bowden coming away, giving away the foul. Look to play it in goal. Slight misconnection there between him and Arjun Drayton Chana. Drayton Chana, who has at times this season looked absolutely electric, scoring some stunning goals from ridiculous angles. never afraid to shoot, Drayton Charter. He's pressing Daniel Faulkner high. And the pressure by Surbiton, turning over the ball at right half again, and James Gould gets it underway to Royce, and now Salisbury. Zach Wallace on the right. Little drop off, just can't connect Dave Goodfield, and Jackson makes the interception, plays it to his captain, Simon Faulkner, who manages to win the foul. About 8 minutes gone in this game. Early reflections is mistakes being a feature of both teams' play. Both sides sitting deep when they're pressing, allowing the defences to pass the ball round the back. Not a lot of pressure applied. Simon Faulkner playing it up to Jackson, who manages to win a foul on the 5-metre line. Right in the far corner of the left-hand side of the pitch. Jackson didn't seem to have gone 5 before he smashes it in. Allowed to play on by the umpire, sorry. Reece Smith on the ball. Plays into Blood. It's good defence by Surbiton and taken away by Zach Wallace. Salisbury cutting inside and back to the outside. Simon Faulkner, brilliant tackle, and now EG have got a chance. Jackson to Griffiths, and Harry Gibson has to get out and clear. Half chance there for East Grinstead. England and GV goalkeeper Harry Gibson dealt with it in the end relatively comfortably. EG sitting deep, allowing James Gould and the Surbiton backline to pass the ball amongst them, working it from right to left. Now it's on the right hand side. Zach Wallace, very skillful player. Zach Wallace always fancies himself one-on-one versus defenders. Interesting to see Zach Wallace playing at right half this morning. I've seen him play in the forward line for England and GB. Played as a right half for Surbiton last year, and where he sort of made his name. This has certainly been a breakthrough year for the young England player. And here he goes again down the right hand side. Zach Wallace. Daniel Faulkner over to meet him, along to his brother Simon Faulkner. He clears, but straight back to Surbiton and Salisbury. A lot of fluid rotations by Surbiton. Forwards dropping up into midfield, midfielders dropping back into the back line, asking questions of the East Grinstead defenders, marking them. So far, the questions have been answered relatively comfortably by East Grinstead. Obviously finishing 4th in the regular season against Surbiton, who were crowned league champions for the first time in their history. And here comes East Grinstead again. Just growing into the game. Another free hit on the dotted 5-metre line. Reece Smith looking to get on the ball. Also a talented young English player, along with Matt Blood, played junior internationals. Reece Smith, lovely bit of stick work, taking on Gould. Gould with a flat, low barrier to deny Reece Smith getting through towards the D. James Royce picking the ball in at screen. Plenty of time to turn, look forward. Spencer on this left-hand side. Johnny Gould. Plenty of options on this left-hand side. Hayden Belts, Australian, joined this year from Tasmania, playing for the Diamondbacks in Tasmania. And here's Spencer, really good skills into the 23. And now Forsyth, can he get a bit of space? He can, onto his reverse, Forsyth! Wide of the right hand, it's gone for a 16. Alan Forsyth, disappointed he couldn't hit the target. Forehand, backhand, he always fancy himself. He managed to work a bit of space. Left-hand side of the D. Just couldn't find the finish. Second time Alan Forsyth has been given space in the D to shoot. And East Grinstead can't afford to give him too many, you'd think. Bobbling pass, played away. And Surbiton can break here. Nick Tye just across to atone for his mistake, but still deep in their 23 is Grinstead. David Goodfield trying to work his way towards the D. Daniel Faulkner out to meet him. Goodfield will dribble the ball 5 metres and likely play the ball back here, and they'll try and get it round to the right hand side. Spencer looks to transfer it quickly. It is to Luke Taylor on the right hand side, up to Brendan Creed. Nice first touch, but it's denied by Liam Ansell. Liam Ansell on Brendan Creed, university mates at Sheffield Hallam. Surbiton again, Alan Forsyth can't quite control the ball. As we see in the distance, Beeston men arriving their playoff semi-final after this one against Hampstead and Westminster. Also brought to you by Galvanised Hockey on Facebook and YouTube. Daniel Faulkner into Stott in midfield. Asking for options, Daniel Faulkner not a lot forward. He's pleading with his teammates to get available. Clift on his right side, Royce. Belts it as he's turned it over. Few complaints. Hayden Belts with the tackle, looked to be lifted into Clift. Nick Bennett are judging it to have come off Clift's stick, and Goodfield can break. It's his England teammate, Chris Griffiths, who's down injured here. Seems an innocuous challenge. I'm not quite sure what Chris Griffiths is hurt here. Obviously showing a lot of discomfort. His left knee. As he limps back into position, won't have to go off and won't want to go off, that's for sure. 15 minutes gone as we approach the quarter time. Different format to the regular season. 60 minutes, 15 minutes each way. Here at the Lee Valley Hockey and Tennis Centre. Zach Wallace, wonderful first touch to get it up and away from the defender. Brilliant interception, Daniel Faulkner on the slide. And Chris Griffiths seems to have recovered from his injury seconds ago to... Oh, he's just to have fouled it. Zach Wallace on the ball. He's got a bit of space, Wallace here. He's going to carry towards the D. Up off the East Grinstead stick. Tom Salisbury across to David Goodfield. Cuts back inside, obstructed by the EG defender. Goodfield into the D. The Surbiton players and the fans complain, claiming a foul in the D and a penalty corner. Paul Walker and Nick Bennett both in agreement that the ball was gone, no foul. David Goodfield showing a little glimpse of skill and pace to jump inside the D. Clift up against Belts again. This time Clift gets the foul. Up to Chris Griffiths. Miss hit. As we approach quarter time, and there it is, the quarter time hooter. A 2-minute break before the second quarter. Goalless first 15. Best chances of the quarter coming to Alan Forsyth. First one inside 30 seconds. Saved by Paddy Smith in the EG goal. And the second just a couple of minutes ago. Again on the reverse. They failed to find the target. It's the first semi-final of the day, coming up at 1:30. It is Hampstead and Westminster versus Beeston, the second of the men's semi-finals. After that, Holcombe in the women's Investec women's playoff against Buckingham. Holcombe, who won the league first time in their history, first time in 5 years that Surbiton haven't won the league. And they'll face Buckingham, who finished fourth, and then it is Surbiton, the defending champions, up against East Grinstead. Both sets of teams just receiving a few instructions from their coaches. Mark Pern for Surbiton and Glenn Kirkham for East Grinstead, two teammates back in their day for England and GB. We're just about to get underway in the second quarter. Surbiton to push back, goalless first quarter. The two teams just getting into it. A few mistakes in the early exchanges. Very unlikely for this game to be goalless, especially Surbiton having scored 76 in the league this year. Daniel Faulkner for East Grinstead. The left side of the pitch on his own 23, tries to find Chris Griffiths. Really good interception by Gould, jumping in front of Griffiths there. He plays it back to Spencer. He looks for Zach Wallace. Well brought down by Wallace, up against Reece Smith. Liam Ansell making the tackle. They're trying to get two defenders all the time to Zach Wallace on their right, half position. Sensing the danger there, and now East Grinstead's chance to break. Good skill by Liam Ansell just to bounce over the stick of Salisbury, but Salisbury managed to get back and turn it over for Surbiton. Forsyth into Belt, and here is Zach Wallace. Salisbury, the free hit just inside the 25, obviously has to hit it out. Has to go 5 minutes before it can be played into the D. Spencer now on the left. Lofted ball in. And it will be EG's ball again. That by Nick Parks on the left-hand side on his reverse. Stop for East Grinstead in the screen. Plays it across to Tyne. Looks inside. Bowden. Don Bowden with a chance to carry, but it's quickly shut down by Gall. And Surbiton with space over on the right hand side. Salisbury, he's had a couple of breaks so far in the game already. Plays it across. David Goodfield looking to get into the D. Tactical foul there. Oh no, they managed to get the ball back. East Grinstead. Patterson out, playing the ball onto David Goodfield's foot. East Grinstead exchanging their fullbacks. Patterson, David Faulkner, Simon Faulkner all playing there so far in the game. It's Patterson now in the centre fullback position. Patterson across to Daniel Faulkner. Bobbling pass, and Daniel Faulkner can't bring it under control. And Beckett can play it forward to Forsyth. Alan Forsyth looking to get into the D, and he's done it again. Forsyth on his reverse stick. Flicks it into Paddy Smith. Smith doing really well initially, but gives away the corner. First corner of the game going to Surbiton. Alan Forsyth winning it on the baseline, the right side of the goal. Both sides claiming it. Paul Walker judging it to be a Surbiton corner. Zach Wallace just receiving the call from the bench. When you've got the likes of Luke Taylor in your side, surely the call can't be anything else but Taylor to flick. You see there, number 3, Luke Taylor. Solid, big frame. He does flick like a train. Surbiton players just want time to be stopped here. He's going to taking their time getting ready for the penalty corner. In the league there isn't, same as international rules, we have 40 seconds to get ready. Oh, missed trap on the top. It was going to be Taylor, but it's a missed trap, and desperately unlucky by Condon as he tried to clear. Hit his foot, and Surbiton will get another go. Missed trap on the top, I think by Gall, as Luke Taylor prepared to flick at goal. We'll get a second chance to see Luke Taylor, I'm sure. Here is Taylor off the top. Wonderful stop by Patterson on the line. It's not the first time he's done that this season. Rory Patterson, great block on the line to deny Luke Taylor. As EG look to get it clear, they've won a free hit. Rory Patterson picked that beautifully. The flick was travelling by Taylor, destined for that bottom left-hand corner. And Patterson was there to meet it. He'll take a lot of confidence from that. Rory Patterson, formerly of Durham University, joined East Grinstead this year. He's played a few off the line this season, a couple of hook shots against Hampstead and Westminster, and Matt Guys-Brown come to mind. That were more forward defensive against Luke Taylor. As here is Rory Patterson. Slightly no start for him, but he'll take a lot of confidence from that fine piece of defensive display. Reece Smith wanting the ball, taking it off his own player, Clift, in the end, and making his way towards the D, looking to play quickly and get East Grinstead on the front foot. Conlon trying to play it first time to the D. Surbiton win it back. Here's Ben Boone. Cross to James Royce, cutting back into the middle of the pitch. Decides to go back to Luke Taylor. EG back in numbers to slow down the Surbiton counter-attack. They'll look to build from the back. The two Gould brothers here on the left-hand side. They've played a beautiful ball to Boone. Well dealt with in the end by East Grinstead. A poor pass by Reece Smith. Royce picks up in midfield. Plays it back to Brendan Creed. Start over one-on-one versus Zach Wallace. Does really well as Scotsman. David Condon looking to get East Grinstead going forward. Liam Ansell just can't connect with his England teammate Chris Griffiths as they try and counter East Grinstead. But instead just give the ball back to Surbiton, and Luke Taylor playing the ball to Brendan Creed. A bit of space on this right half position. Creed looking forward and finding David Goodfield up into the right hand corner of the pitch. He's got Reece Smith for company. Daniel Faulkner as well. Daniel Faulkner playing as the spare man for East Grinstead. Everyone else matched up, marking a player, and Daniel Faulkner's job there is to get over and help create 2v1s for the defence. He did so very well there. But it's a nice ball played forward and just can't get it under control. Patterson allowed to bring the ball up slowly, methodically. Very tall centre-back. Seems to lumber across the pitch. Sure, he's more athletic than that adjective is giving him credit for. East Grinstead can't quite get together a regular spell of possession, giving the ball back to Surbiton on a number of occasions. Operating a high press now, trying to get a bit more pressure onto Surbiton. Royce calmly back to Brendan Creed. Nice skill by Creed to work the left-hand side. Calling for Spencer on the right-hand side to make a lead from right half. Looking for a big ball across. Brendan Creed couldn't quite get the link up. Instead, play it back and around. Salisbury under pressure in screen. And Reece Smith picks up. Good strength shown by Reece Smith. He plays it out wide. Don Bowden sliding in. Hayden Belton managed to turn it over. The Australian. Parks for Surbiton. Opting to keep possession, playing it back to Brendan Creed. This internationally star-studded Surbiton team. Creed across the goal. Up to Spencer. Nice body fence, sending Jackson the wrong way. Just creating a little bit of space for Spencer there. Oh, could Mackie have got a touch on that? Dangerous ball played across by Creed, but Surbiton have managed to keep hold of possession, just building the play, working their way up the pitch. Lewis Prosser out to Brendan Creed on the left-hand side. Little ball to Ben Boone. Boone up against Simon Faulkner. Plays it back again to Luke Taylor. Building possession, Surbiton, building phases of play. Spencer on the right-hand side. 1v1 versus Jackson. He's got away and played a ball into Hayden Belts. Belts doing well to win the free hit on the 5-metre line. And yet again, Surbiton play it back, building the game, not allowing EG to have any sniff of possession. Prosser down to Parks. Reece Smith wins back possession for East Grinstead. And under pressure by Parks, gives it straight back. Needs to be more. We need to value possession more, surely. East Grinstead displayed exemplary by Surbiton, valuing their time with the ball, playing it back and around, pushing East Grinstead back towards their own D. Zach Wallace across to Luke Taylor. Looks forward, nothing on. Back to Wallace again. Spencer on the right hand side. Looks for Arjun Drayton Chana now up towards the D versus Patterson, and Drayton Chana gets past him easily and wins a corner. Really good skill by Arjun Drayton Chana. Up against Rory Patterson, working his way down the right baseline. Just places it onto an East Grinstead foot. Now, what will Luke Taylor do? I'm sure it'll be Luke Taylor again off the top. His first flick saved by the postman, Rory Patterson. Going right across the goalkeeper. Here's Luke Taylor. They're only operating one castle. And now Ben Boone coming across, but I highly doubt it's going to go to that castle if Boone's there that late. It will be Luke Taylor, I'm sure. Taylor with a spin. And it's a goal, the first one of the day. And it's James Royce who has it. A wonderful spin from Luke Taylor, drawing in the defence. And Royce had to work hard with his feet to get the ball out and across the keeper into the corner. And he gives Surbiton the lead after 24 minutes. And you have to say it's been coming for Surbiton, enjoying the majority of possession, now their third corner. Opting for the spin with everyone thinking that Luke Taylor would flick again, including myself. And James Royce profited from it. Here comes Surbiton again, Zach Wallace. With an upright reverse, beautiful ball across. Great save by Paddy Smith. Again, Dave Beckett with another chance for Surbiton straight after they've opened the scoring. Played across, Paddy Smith did really well to get out quickly there. David Beckett denied. Worrying times for East Grinstead. They're yet to have a shot on goal. Surbiton with all the possession, all the territory. Spencer bringing down the aerial, controlling it off his knee. They have had a bit of possession, East Grinstead, but all inside their own half. Don Bowden trying to get them going forward. We've seen a lot of this in the first half. The East Grinstead defenders playing it across their back line with not many options forward. Maybe this is it. Liam Ansell getting an aerial ball from Simon Faulkner, and frustration shown there. Liam Ansell just can't get it under control. Not under any real pressure from Surbiton defenders. I'd be disappointed. The East Grinstead striker. And regular proceedings here. Surbiton keeping possession and playing it forward to Parks. Parks up against Dumbarton. Good feel into the middle. Dave Beckett. Royce, missed touch. Still managing to get it back. East Grinstead chasing the ball, trying to get back into this game. Luke Taylor across the right hand side. Gould looking over the top. Ansell managed to get tougher. It's not enough. Zach Wallace into the D. Oh, vital tackle by Tyne. Zach Wallace had Forsyth with him, and he couldn't get it away from Tyne. Terrible tackle by Liam Ansell on Dave Goodfield in midfield. Surbiton opting to take it quickly. Forsyth into Royce. Fast play here by Surbiton. Trying to make the most, capitalise on this momentum they've got. East Grinstead struggling to get into the game. Creed up to Zach Wallace, very much in the game. The young England player. Only just out of school, Zach Wallace. And his full England and GB cap debut earlier this season in 2018. Certainly been a breakthrough year for the boy. He went to Whitgift School, young man I should say, playing amongst men here in the men's first semi-final. Goal on the right hand side. Whistle was a little bit delayed there, and we will come back for Liam Ansell's tackle in the middle. A green card shown to the East Grinstead striker. It was a poor one. Nick Bennett doing really well there to play the advantage and come back for the foul and the card. A rare mistake by Surbiton with the ball. Royce with the missed pass. And e.g. if it wasn't hard enough against the league champions, Surbiton now down to 10 players. Alan Forsyth trying to put a bit of pressure on. Now they are down to 10. East Grinstead under more pressure. Surbiton can jump up and be man on man, and they managed to win the ball back. Beckett looking for Royce. Royce up into the D. It's just, oh, not sure if I agree with that. Paul Walker, think it might have been Royce's own foot that it hit. I think Rory Patterson knew as well. I think Royce knew as well as he sheepishly retreats into the huddle on the top of the D. I think Nick Bennett had a good line of sight, the umpire, and might come over to help Paul Walker with this decision. You can understand why Paul Walker, from his angle, thought it was an East Grinstead foot, and there, yeah. Nick Bennett just helping out his umpire, his co-umpire. Really good officiating there. You can understand why Paul Walker thought it was a foot by the East Grinstead player, by the angle that he was at, but did in fact hit James Royce's own foot. As I was saying, East Grinstead down to 10 men enables Surbiton to jump out and put more pressure on them, be man on man as they come here. East Grinstead doing really well to play out with there. Into Blood. That screen, they go back. It's all backwards and tying at right half again with the mistrap, allowing Surbiton to have possession back. Parks, so he had goal on the right hand side. Parks trying to fight it back from Reece Smith, and he's done really well, Parks, to Forsyth. Patterson there intercepting the play from Forsyth, looking for goal. Start looking young to Griffiths. Really nice ball. Griffiths into the Surbiton D. Exceptional skill by Griffiths. What a save, Harry Gibson. Something out of nothing there, created by Chris Griffiths, showing his skill and working onto the reverse stick. Harry Gibson making a vital save for Surbiton. His first action of the day. Gibson, the rebound off the pads up into the air, and a corner awarded to East Grinstead. And this is where they will look to attack Surbiton. Simon Faulkner off the top. He scored 9 penalty corner goals so far in the regular season. A significant number of their goals coming from corners, 14 in total. Oh, it's a poor drag out. Stott takes it on the strike above the backboard. Reece Smith with the injection, Stott's forehand. And Surbiton now can counter-attack. They've got numbers forward. Zach Wallace is one of them. Into the 23, up to Alan Forsyth. Dangerous ball across, dealt well with by Paddy Smith. And Surbiton have the ball. And East Grinstead are very deep here. Gall out on the left-hand side, did really well to gather it and bring it in. Paul Walker judging the foul by East Grinstead to be worthy of a corner. Gall doing incredibly well to track that ball on his reverse and dragged it back onto his forehand. And the covering East Grinstead defender tripping him up as he came back. And Paul Walker, the umpire, must have thought that Gall would have gone through into the D, and the tackle was bad enough to warrant a penalty corner to be awarded. And fourth penalty corner for Surbiton, scored from their last one from a spin. Luke Taylor it was with the spin. Don't think it will be the same again. Royce over onto the right castle, Taylor on the left. Little movement out to Taylor in the middle of the D. And he scores! Luke Taylor! Low to the bottom right of the goal. The East Grinstead players frustrated. The Surbiton players jubilated, and that is half time. 2-0 to Surbiton. Luke Taylor scoring with the final play of the half. 2 corner goals for Surbiton. East Grinstead with a lot of work to do if they're going to hope to get into the final tomorrow. Surbiton leading 2-0 at the half-time break.
The fear of playing with fear is probably what scares me the most. I play on the edge, you need that fiery side. I set out to do this because I want to be one of the best players in the world. You do it because you do love it, you do it because those moments where you're successful and nothing else matters in the whole world.
Welcome back to the Lee Valley Hockey Tennis Centre. This is the first game of the day, semi-final in the men's playoffs between Surbiton and East Grinstead. Surbiton leading 2-0 against EG, courtesy of a James Royce and Luke Taylor penalty corner goals. The first goal coming from a spin, Royce sliding it across Paddy Smith and EG goal into the left-hand corner, his left-hand corner. And the next, Luke Taylor, just on the stroke of half-time, powering it in from the top of the D into the same corner. EG with possession at the start of this second half, and they'll be looking to try and build more possession and value possession more than they did in the first half, giving the ball up way too easily to Surbiton. If they're going to get back into their game, into this game, they have to look after the ball better. And they have to start playing inside the Surbiton half. As soon as they venture in there, Reece Smith shut out by the Surbiton defenders. But they've managed to win it back. Don Bowden working his way over to the right hand side. Condon across here to Reece Smith. This is more like it from EG. Simon Faulkner into the top of the D. Surbiton defenders back to snuff out any chance of an EG penalty circle possession. Gould sliding in there to deny the ball across to Chris Griffiths. Chris Griffiths with EG's only chance of the game, and what a chance it was. Dancing his way inside the Surbiton D, and one-on-one with Harry Gibson. Hit it straight out the Surbiton goalkeeper. That was at 1-0. Could have been so much different for EG. Now 2-0 down, Luke Taylor's goal on the stroke half time, and here they come down the right side through Chris Griffiths. Goal across to deny the England player any sort of chance of going forward. Arjun Drayton-Chana on the left hand side, winning a foul, and Surbiton be able to build some play from the back. Luke Taylor has it on the top of his own D. East Grinstead dropping off, still pressing pretty deeply. Zach Wallace plays with Royce. Royce with plenty of time in the middle of the pitch to pick a pass forward to Drayton-Chana. Easy circle possession for Surbiton. Far too easy for the league champions. No pressure on Royce in the middle. And played the ball up to Drayton-Chana. Gould over on the right side. Ansell complains, but fairly sure he tackled Gould there with his feet. Royce trying to pull some strings for Surbiton. Luke Taylor, the second goal scorer. Nice ball over the top to Gould. And it's played to Zach Wallace into the D. Zach Wallace for Surbiton. Good backtracking by Liam Ansell. Doing the dirty work in defence. The striker. Surbiton with the long corner. David Goodfield back to Luke Taylor and James Royce. Same combination for their first goal. David Goodfield just giving away the ball inside Surbiton 23, the EG 23 to Reece Smith, who will look to carry out. Reece Smith, quite the social media personality. Seen some of his skill schools blowing up on Twitter. Boone, adjudged to have used the back of his stick. Very fortunate there for East Grinstead. Boone with foresight and support. Tyne on the left-hand side. A bit of trouble over a right half in the first half. A few bobbling balls across to him. Daniel Faulkner can't get the ball through to Reece Smith, and Salisbury's there to intercept Chana. Drayton-Chana up to Goodfield, and he's had his stick ripped away from him by Tyne. No mercy by Tyne there, slinging the stick away. Illegally though, and serves now the ball with Creed into the D. The left-hand T-spot. Daniel Faulkner, Drayton-Chana takes it back and plays into Forsyth against the post. Alan Forsyth, he only needs half a yard to get a shot away. And Zach Wallace mistraps over on the right-hand side. Alan Forsyth, you see here, back to goal. Gets the ball and just powers it through against the post. A let-off again for EG. Forsyth, 3 chances in the game. Been saved once by Paddy Smith. Now the post saves East Grinstead. Reece Smith up into the 23. Good skill shown by Reece Smith. Is played across. Liam Ansell, this is who they want in this position, and he scores! Liam Ansell for East Grinstead gets one back. Just what the trailing team needed. And they're well and truly back in the game. Much like the Chris Griffiths chance in the first half, something out of nothing. The skill by Reece Smith over on the right hand side, and plays it across to a completely unmarked Liam Ansell, not the person that you want to leave with that much space in the D. And he punishes Surbiton. A momentary lapse in concentration for the league champions, and East Grinstead have a goal back here. Only seconds after Forsyth had struck the post. Brendan Creed powering into the EG half and up to Forsyth. Had this shot hit the post seconds ago, trying to work his way into the D, and he's done so. Long corner under the tackle and pressure by Daniel Faulkner. Is that the spark that EG need? A bit of life back in this game as the sun begins to shine now at Lee Valley. The last touch adjudged by Nick Bennett to have come off David Goodfield. A result from the men's playoff competition. Haven't beaten by the University of Exeter. 4-2 makes a very interesting situation over there on pitch 2, with 3 teams all joint on 3 points. Old Georgians going up against Bowden in a few minutes time. Here though on pitch 1, it's Surbiton on the attack again. Parks has the ball nicked away from him by Dan Faulkner. And another Surbiton long corner. Spencer working the left hand side up against Reece Smith. Gets a little bit of space, Spencer, but he plays a pass to nobody. And Mackie can bring it up for Surbiton, going back to Tyne. Looking to switch the play to the right hand side. Cy Faulkner out to Rory Patterson. Saved one on the line in the first half, Patterson. Nothing he could do about the other 2 Surbiton strikes. Tyne into Condon. Managing to look after the ball a little bit better here, East Grinstead. Trying to build some phases. Cy Faulkner picking the ball up in the middle of the pitch. Plays it to his brother Daniel. One of 2 sets of brothers, the Faulkners and the Gauls in this game. Look at this. Here come East Grinstead again down the right hand side. Mackie up against Gaul, and Gaul wins out on that one. Royce, first goal scorer of the game from a penalty corner. Prosser plays it forward to Ben Boone. Manages to do really well to face forward and take the ball up into the East Grinstead 23, but they want it back. Good tackle by Rory Patterson. And Patterson looking to carry the ball forward, plays the ball under his arm dangerously to Tom Sorsby. Sorsby transferred from Beeston for this season. A successful season for Surbiton as they look to make it back-to-back championships. Just doesn't fall there for Parks in the D. So it's Surbiton, the champions in 2018, beating Hampstead and Westminster in a shootout. Hampstead and Westminster will be playing against Beeston in the second game of the day. Brought to you by Galvanised Hockey on Facebook and YouTube. Surbiton winning the ball back. Operating their zone press, waiting for the ball to be played into the middle and pouncing on it. Zach Wallace picking the ball up at right half. And he always fancies himself here. Zach Wallace plays a lovely ball to Boone on the top of the D. Beckett over the left hand side, gets the reverse stick away. Back stick though. You see there the ball popping up, and the only way that it can pop up like that is if it is played into the ground on the back stick. A let off for East Grinstead. Beckett with a little bit too much space. Zach Wallace as well with plenty of space on this right hand side. Up against Holland. East Grinstead playing the ball forward, looking for Chris Griffiths. And Tom Salisbury just did enough to put off Griffiths there, jumping in the way. As the sun comes out at Lee Valley, it's a very cold day here in London. I was very lucky to be given some gloves at half time, much appreciated. And Surbiton here on the right hand side. Hayden Belt, hailing from Australia. Royce into James Gould. Couldn't quite get the ball away from his feet, but he's still got possession. Gould into the D, trying to work a bit of space. And despite two players going down, Gould holding his head. Nick Bennett playing on. No foul, says the umpire. James Gould looking for that foot, looking for some sort of foul to earn his team a corner. East Grinstead actually had the best corner defence in the league this year, only conceding 5 goals from corners. However, 2 Surbiton corners today have found their way into their net, and it's what gives Surbiton the lead here today. East Grinstead, they managed to get one back earlier through Liam Ansell, and a bobbling pass across by Creed to Prosser. And EG have the ball on this left-hand side. Stott to Matt Blunt. He's played a good ball forward to Jackson. Jackson up against Creed at the top of the D, trying to get a ball under his arm to Stott, who's coming through. Gould stepped in, shutting out the opportunity. Patterson, very good tackle. Goodfield trying to go back through Patterson's body space. And just as I'm praising the tall East Grinstead fullback, he gives the ball back to Surbiton, but they've won it back, EG. Chris Griffiths turning over the ball from Drayton Charner. Cliff trying to work his way into the middle of the pitch. Condon back to Blood, to Reece Smith. Nice play this from East Grinstead, working down to the left-hand side. It's Jackson looking for a ball into the D. Managed to get it under his arm to Reece Smith. Does incredibly well, Reece Smith, to juggle that with one hand. And Jackson robbed by Brendan Creed. A judge should have not been 5 metres away. Creed bitterly disappointed with that decision by Nick Bennett. Patterson on the left-hand side of the pitch. Really nice spin by Patterson. He played a lovely ball into Condon in the middle of the D. Yet again, it's James Gould though. And Royce striding up towards the East Grinstead goal. Ben Boone, Spencer on the left-hand side, plays it through to Boone. Plays across, and again it pops up. Has to be back stick. So they're sensing an opportunity. They had Alan Forsyth ahead of the ball. They couldn't quite find the star Scottish striker. Rory Patterson on the left-hand side. Shows some very nimble footwork and stick skills seconds ago to spin inside the Surbiton defence and play a ball through to Condon. Condon shut out by Gould. Patterson looking forward. Brendan Creed easily reads it. And that's the advantage of the zone press. Creed looking forward, returning the aerial, looking for Ben Boone. If they can get him in space, he will certainly run at the defenders like he will here. Simon Faulkner up against him. He drops it off to Goodfield, working the right-hand side of the D. Daniel Faulkner across to meet him. Goodfield trying to work his way into the D. Does get in, but shut out again by Daniel Faulkner. Doing a really good job as spare man. The East Grinstead number 5. Luke Taylor in the middle for Surbiton, across to Prosser. Up to Zach Wallace, up against Reece Smith. 2 Whitgift boys. Went to school together, Reece Smith and Zach Wallace. Luke Taylor on the left-hand side, looking forward and looking for Ben Boone, but Simon Faulkner did enough to put off the Surbiton striker, and a little word exchange there between Faulkner and Boone. As we approach the 3/4 time, both teams very finely balanced. EG have managed to get back into this game, having been well out of it at half time. They managed to string plays together like this. Salisbury with the back of his stick, says Nick Bennett, making the interception. And it'll be EG ball inside the Surbiton half. Patterson into Griffiths. Out to Reece Smith on this right-hand side. Can he create something? No. judged to have blocked the ball legally when confronted by Brendan Creed. Creed playing the ball dangerously across, and Ansell's on it. Ansell into Harry Gibson's chest pad. Liam Ansell, you can't give him those kind of opportunities. Brendan Creed apologises to his teammates. A let off for Surbiton as they look to attack through Parks on this right hand side. There was a lapse in concentration which gifted Ansell the chance earlier on in the game. That chance he took, he couldn't quite convert this latest one. Tyne well across to deny the ball to Forsyth, and since he hit the post, Forsyth hasn't really seen much of the ball. Zach Wallace on this right hand side. Miscommunication with him and Beckett, and Faulkner can carry away. Liam Ansell with the ball in the middle, under pressure by Wallace. And that is three-quarter time. The only goal in that quarter coming from East Grinstead's Liam Ansell, breathing life back into this game for the EG team. In the first half saw goals from Luke Taylor and James Royce. And that leaves us Surbiton 2, East Grinstead 1. 15 minutes to go in the first semi-final of the day. The teams exit their respective huddles. East Grinstead fans trying to get involved. A chilly day for spectators. Slightly better for the players who get to run around. East Grinstead fans behind their team's bench, giving a rousing round of applause and cheers to try and get their team going in this final quarter of the first semi-final. Liam Ansell taking it forward into Don Bowden. You're gonna have to come out firing, East Grinstead, if they want to get back into contention for a place in the final. Don Bowden looking to play it forward. Just can't connect with Chris Griffiths over on that right hand side. And Surbiton have the ball there. Luke Taylor not in any rush to take this one. And we could see a lot of this in these final 15 minutes. A bit of gamesmanship shown by the team leading, and intensity shown by the team trailing to get hold of the ball and go forward. Really nice ball by Taylor, looking for Drayton Charner. Drayton Charner just can't get it under control. Two top goal scorers for Surbiton there up front. Arjun Drayton Charner with 9 goals. And Alan Forsyth, 28 goals in the regular season. None yet today. 3 chances, 2 saved by Paddy Smith and 1 hitting the post. Reece Smith over on the left hand side, dancing inside Parks. Nice stick skills shown by Smith. Can't play the ball through. Forsyth back in defending. The Scotsman plays it across to Zach Wallace, trying to work a bit of space on this right hand side. Reece Smith reads it really well, and Zach Wallace fouls him getting back. Smith, no one ahead of him though for East Grinstead. He keeps hold of the ball and plays it across to Griffiths. Bowden, the number 10 for East Grinstead, on the right hand side. Up against Spencer. It's really well to win a foul under pressure by Spencer and Gall. Tyne to Condon. Gall across to meet that one. Need to get numbers in the D here, East Grinstead. They'll probably look to transfer it over, and get a circle entry on this left-hand side. Here it comes to Cliff with a bit of space to move forward and play it forward into the D. Forsyth with the intervention. Surbiton getting pushed deeper and deeper. Man marking in the D. Those in front of it operating in their zones. Sorsby out to meet it, really good defence by Tom Sorsby. Daniel Faulkner back to sweep up for East Grinstead. It's a bad tackle by Sorsby, pushing the back. Faulkner slow to his feet. 12.5 minutes to go. East Grinstead trailing 2-1, and that's not what they need from Tyne over at that right fullback position. Gifting the ball back to Surbiton. And Spencer back to Luke Taylor. Slinging the ball out to Zach Wallace. A fantastic ball by Luke Taylor, and Zach Wallace has done really well to take it under control. Chris Griffiths across to meet the young right half. Forsyth trying to link up, trying to get the first time ball into the D. Tyne gets it away, and Wallace fouls Griffiths. Griffiths up to his feet quickly. But it's been turned over. James Gould can't quite find Forsyth. Tyne sliding across to intercept. Smith on this left-hand side. He's got numbers ahead of him. Mackey's one of them. Working his way to the left-hand side. Reece Smith taking it off Simon Faulkner and then trying to lay it back to his captain. Reece Smith wanting the ball, wanting to create. He created their first goal. Can he create another as we approach the last 10 minutes? Cy Faulkner back to Tyne. Over to the right hand side. Bowden trying to cut inside, working with the space. He's done quite well, but James Gould again across to intercept, and he's fouled, protecting the ball over at the left hand side. How many times has James Gould just been in the right place at the right time for Surbiton? Wallace trying to play it forward to Tom Sorsby, up off Daniel Faulkner's stick into Sorsby's head. Wallace back to Luke Taylor. Cross to Spencer on the left hand side. Lovely work by Spencer to roll out into the middle of the pitch and plays a delightful ball up to Boone. Ben Boone, formerly of Reading, now of Surbiton, looking for a place in the final tomorrow. Still with possession. Ben Boone up to Johnny Gould. Really nice skill shown by Gould. He's won a free hit. Looking to work across to the top of the D. Sorsby with a touch inside. Mackey just does enough to break it down. Up off Ansell's stick into his chest, and it'll still be a Surbiton ball on the 5 metre line, the dotted line. Sorsby back to Taylor, bobbling pass, and Taylor struggles to take it under control, under pressure by Mackey. Does really well to get it away to Wallace, as Wallace he so often does, trying to jink the ball back in field. Wallace back to Gould at fullback. James Gould across to Creed. Brendan Creed looking forward, looking for Dave Goodfield, and he rolls out, and they just keep possession, Surbiton. Killing the clock here at Lee Valley. Drayton Charner. Goodfield on the left-hand side. Good tackle by Liam Ansell. Oh, spoke too soon. Bit too much stick involved there, and Paul Walker's going to have a word with Liam Ansell. Just letting him know. He's a little bit too aggressive. He had a card earlier in the first half. Liam Ansell, a green card for a poor tackle. And that one just a little too aggressive for Paul Walker's liking. Goodfield on the left-hand side into the East Grinstead 23, trying to work his way infield. Umpires disagreeing there, both pointing different directions. Nick Bennett thought it came off Goodfield's knee. Paul Walker has agreed. A little bit of confusion there, but East Grinstead have been given the ball. And it's with Tyne in the middle of his own D. Up to his captain, Simon Faulkner. Surbiton sitting deep, allowing East Grinstead to carry the ball up towards the halfway line. And as soon as it gets within 5 metres away, they jump out and put pressure on. Don Bowden under pressure, as I said. And it's Hayden Belts who's turned it over. David Goodfield. It's a 4-on-1 here for Surbiton. Goodfield goes himself. Stick block, says Nick Bennett. Big decision. David Goodfield with 3 players in support, deciding to go himself and illegally protecting the ball. A chance to kill the game with 8 minutes to go. Daniel Faulkner for EG. To Tyne, Forsyth jumping out, trying to get a bit of pressure on. Patterson across to Simon Faulkner. Reece Smith picking the ball up at screen, looking forward, looking for players, looking for Condon, who's found Bowden on the right-hand side. And yet again, it's Gall over there to make the tackle. He senses there's another chance in this game. One more chance. It's played out to Parks by Creed, and he's got plenty of space. Parks to play out to Boone. Here's Beckett over on the right side, gets onto his forehand, played across. As rain begins to fall at Lee Valley, I got excited about sunshine about 5 minutes ago, and now here comes the rain. Wallace trying to work some space on the right hand side. A long corner to Surbiton. Royce plays the ball back to Luke Taylor. Johnny Gall looking to play it forward into the 23, and he's found Zach Wallace cutting back on the inside. He loves that move, Zach Wallace, just pulling it under his arm into the defender's body space, trying to find a foot or some space. Found Mackey's foot that time. Surbiton with possession, getting pushed back by the EG press. Perfectly happy though to go backwards, Surbiton, if they get a bit of space to play forward. Sam Faulkner didn't know anything about that one. And Surbiton can break. Royce playing the ball into Boone in the D. Boone across to Parks. Paddy Smith again to meet it. Going to EG's rescue, and they're going to counter-attack quickly, EG. Ansell. Zach Wallace across to make the vital tackle. And he draws the foul from Patterson. Illegally, says Nick Bennett. He was certainly looking for the foul. Wallace and Reece Smith can counter. An exciting minute here in the game as we approach the end of the first semi-final. Mackey on the left-hand side of the Surbiton D, trying to work it back inside to Smith, wins a foul. This is where EG want to be, trailing by 1. Can they play it in? Smith tries to hit it in, and it hits an East Grinstead foot in the D, and Surbiton look to go quickly. Beckett can't find Parks, and they give the ball back to East Grinstead. An interesting decision to go quickly there by Surbiton. Leading by 1, they're obviously chasing a second and to kill the game. But in doing so, they allow EG a chance to turn over the ball, but East Grinstead can't look after it, and they play it out on the pit, out on the sideline, and Brendan Creed will have it. Play a raking ball across to Gall. And they'll just sit back here, Surbiton, keep hold of the ball. Luke Taylor looking for Creed. Creed takes it down beautifully on his reverse. Reece Smith does really well to tackle him. Ansell looking for Griffiths. Puts Luke Taylor under pressure. Griffiths done really well. They need to get him and Ansell in the game in these last few minutes if they're going to stay in it. And here is Ansell. Cutting inside, going down on the 5-metre line. Mackey looking to go quickly. Cross to Smith. Forward to Clift. Against the hand of Parks, getting well down to block that, protecting his feet. Patterson. Out to Faulkner on the left-hand side, getting closer to the D, East Grinstead. And out they come to Patterson. Daniel Faulkner under pressure from Boone. He does well to get there first, Daniel Faulkner, and takes the free hit quickly. Faulkner, wonderful play out to Reece Smith. Lovely link up this by East Grinstead. Condon can't draw the foul. Gall across to meet him. And Surbiton can counter. Alan Forsyth just winning a foot. As we approach the last couple of minutes. Surbiton still looking to play quickly and not killing the clock. Zach Wallace cutting inside. Yet again, Nick Bennett waving play on. Zach Wallace looking over, pleading with him to give him the foul. 3 minutes to go. Simon Faulkner in the left-hand side of the pitch. Ansel, a wonderful touch through his legs, looking for Matt Blood. Harry Gibson tries to get it. Mackie sneaks in behind. An incredible angle trying to squeeze that in, Mackie. Time off as East Grinstead pull their goalkeeper. Daniel Faulkner will put the bib on and be the kicking back. Trying to have an extra man in the outfield. And it's Daniel Faulkner with the kicking privileges. You might have heard there from the announcer, 3 minutes and 1 second left for East Grinstead. It's all or nothing for EG, pulling their keeper. Here is effectively their goalkeeper, Daniel Faulkner in the bib. Got goalkeeping privileges, but can play as an outfield player. They're trying to create an overload. Patterson, they need to play forward, East Grinstead. They need to get it into the Surbiton D. Simon Faulkner on the right-hand side, up to Bowden. Bowden working a little bit of space, good skill. And they're in the 23, one step closer to the Surbiton D. And Harry Gibson's goal. Daniel Faulkner, the Surbiton bench screaming at their defence to get up and out, and the interception from David Goodfield. He's got Forsyth in the middle. He's played it straight into Daniel Faulkner's foot. David Goodfield with the interception. Trying to play it through to Forsyth, who would have had a gaping goal at his mercy. And Goodfield just draws the foul from Jackson on the right-hand side of the pitch. Goodfield looking for the corner, but it's denied by Reece Smith. About 1.5 minutes left. Patterson bringing it forward. Surbiton dropping back into their zone. Do EG have one more attack in them? Faulkner up to Condon. Faulkner. This time it's Reece Smith turning forward. Good skills shown by the young player, and he's up towards the 23. And yet again, goal there to intercept. Goodfield can carry it out on the right-hand side. Looking forward for Forsyth. Daniel Faulkner across to sweep up. Taking on Forsyth. He's done well, Daniel Faulkner. Desperation stuff this for East Grinstead. Patterson on the right-hand side. Somehow keeps hold of the ball and plays it up to Jackson. Jackson to Faulkner. Daniel Faulkner back to Jackson. Luke Taylor covering. Jackson a little bit more time than I think he thought he had. Tried to play the ball across first time. Little bit of complaints there by Surbiton. EG saying that the Surbiton player had taken it. 30 seconds left. Last throw of the dice for East Grinstead. Patterson on the left. Nicked away by Goodfield. And it's going to be a Surbiton ball. Goodfield on his knees in the middle of the pitch as Forsyth carries it forward. Always looking for a goal, Forsyth. East Grinstead without a goalkeeper. Forsyth working his way to Royce, and that'll be the game. Surbiton will go through to the final and defend their championship that they won last year. East Grinstead defeated. They managed to get a goal back, Liam Ansell scoring in the third quarter. But it was the goals of Royce and Taylor that proved too much for EG today. Surbiton going to the final. Who will they face? We'll find out next. Beeston versus Hampstead and Westminster.
Beeston, teams finishing second and third in the regular season in the standings. That follows at number 15. Scores from pitch 2, Avon 2, University of Exeter 4 in the playoff promotion tournament. That's our first match of the day. And the second match, Georgians and Bowling. The score there is Georgians 2, Bowling 1.
We want to be the difference. We want to inspire the future. We want to make history. Wanted to prove to them that I deserved to be their teammate. When I came down to the GB trial, there weren't as many of the Rio girls there. There was only a couple. As soon as we started playing, I think all nerves were gone. I wanted to prove to them that yes, I do deserve to be here.
festive feasts. Whether it was to stay to study at Smiths or Sainsbury's, you can get them online at amazon.co.uk.
With a penalty, the mental process you have is you've got 8 seconds.
8 seconds can be a really, really long time in that moment. It's just a case of staying in it until it really is over.
You cut away all the noise and cut away all the meaning, and it's just you taking a penalty.
Hello and welcome back to the Lee Valley Hockey and Tennis Centre, where we are about 10 minutes away from the second semi-final in the Men's Premier Division playoffs. We've just seen Surbiton beat East Grinstead 2-1, and our next game here on Galvanised Hockey is between Beeston and Hampstead and Westminster. Beeston finished third in the division, Hampstead second. Hampstead with the best defence in the league, only conceding 21 goals. Beeston will be looking to their GV star, Adam Dixon, captain today and captain of Great Britain, along with Mark Leghorn off the top at corners. Hampstead and Westminster, well, they've been here before, won last year and got to the final to be beaten by Surbiton in a shootout. Their main threat, Matt Guys-Brown from penalty corners. I would offer you a warm welcome, but it's far from that this afternoon at Lee Valley. Don't be deceived by the sunshine shining down on the pitch. It is a cold day in London, but hopefully the action will heat us up. We've got some highlights from the last time these two met at Beeston in March.
Brown. It's worked out to this right-hand side. Good early ball in. Half chance here. Shot comes in and it's parried away from goal.
We saw with the Ladies League yesterday, Buckingham, their win here against Beeston Ladies put them into the top 4.
Yep. That was a tight affair.
It was.
Beeston with a shot on the turn and saved by the goalkeeper. Good effort that. Out it comes. It's slipped. Chance on the reverse stick side and saved by the feet there of the goalkeeper.
Find a way of dealing with the good goalkeeping and the #1 runner. Maybe a slip here.
Shot whipped in and this one's gone straight through. And Beeston have the lead. And it's Adam Dixon there, who was denied with the earlier save, but not this time.
The pressure tells. I think Hampstead have been slightly better than Beeston at winning back possession, but there's energy-wise, I think Beeston have got the edge on that at the moment. They're
yes, it's been an energetic performance. And
here we go again.
Here they go, straight down the middle this time, into the circle. Beeston won't mind if this one flies in. There's the shots.
That almost looked like it was the right connection, but I think that's gone behind a given that the defender automatically has the right to that free hit in that position. Here we go.
Lovely take. All played into the circle, just wanted a deflection. And Reynolds Cottrell was scampering across goal there just in case on song, on message, all the other metaphors.
And there it is.
And there's the celebration that greets the final whistle. And it's the home team here, Beeston, who celebrate a very hard fought, very well-deserved victory in the end by just the single goal.
See there, Beeston, the last time these two met, 1-0 victors, and Adam Dixon corner. And he's certainly going to have to play well today if the Bees are going to pull off a repeat performance. Only once in the history of this fixture has a game been decided by more than one goal, so it's bound to be a close one. And judging by the two sides' attacking prowess this year, it is also, I don't want to jinx it, bound to have goals. Hampstead and Westminster scoring 47 goals this year, second only to the league leaders, Surbiton And here they come, the two teams in the men's semi-final. Hampstead and Westminster, led out by their captain, Toby Roach. And in the black and yellow strip, Beeston, led out by their captain, Stephen Lawrence. Beeston, you'd have to say, they're a very young team compared to Hampstead and Westminster. Hampstead and Westminster full of experience all the way through their squad. That's not to say there's any lacking in quality in the Beeston team. They somewhat stuttered their way to the playoffs. They've only won 3 games since Christmas, Beeston, though one of them did come over Hampstead and Westminster at home in March. We're only minutes away from the start of this second semi-final. Decide who will meet Surbiton in the final tomorrow. Steely concentration on the faces of the Hampstead and Westminster players. A few smiles being shown by the slightly younger members of the Beeston team. They do have experience. Adam Dixon, GB captain. Other international players, Ollie Willars, Mark Leghorn as well. Very exciting fixture ahead of us as the crowd begins to spill back into Lee Valley, certainly targeting the seats in the sun, and I'm rather envious of them over there in the sun. A bitterly cold day in London. Hampstead and Westminster actually played a home game here at Lee Valley, so they'll be a bit more used to it than Beeston. Beeston travelling down from Nottingham for this weekend. The league records, Hampstead and Westminster in second, winning 13 games, drawing 2, and only losing the 3, finishing on 41 points. And a whole 10 points behind them, Beeston were, with 9 wins, 4 draws, and 5 defeats. But all those are irrelevant really now. It's a winner-takes-all situation in this second semi-final. Adam Dixon playing with the ball on the top of on the halfway line. He will have to be instrumental if Beeston are to overcome a formidable opponent in Hampstead and Westminster. Rupert Shipley on the ball for Hampstead, going to take the push back. The team's second highest goal scorer on 8 goals. Got to watch out for Matt Guys-Brown from penalty corners. And we're underway here in the second semi-final of the men's playoffs. The game between Beeston in the black and gold and Hampstead and Westminster in the white and blue. Gleghorn looking early to switch play to Robbie Gleeson on this right-hand side. Gleeson plays a really nice ball, but Quan Brown across the median and wins a free hit. Quan Brown is up against Alex Bloomfield. Nice start by Beeston. Gleghorn looking to spread the play early, and they're pressing Hampstead Westminster high up the pitch. Quan Brown up to Smith into Shipley. Shipley surrounded by Beeston players, and they've won it back. Park to Bloomfield. Gets it back from Dixon. Quan Brown, really, he's also going to have to be instrumental for Hampstead. The Trinidad and Tobago international. Guys-Brown into Edwards. Edwards looking to play forward, hitting it up. Looking for his captain, Toby Roach. Can't quite connect on that occasion. There'll be Ollie Willars, the experienced fullback, across to his captain, Stephen Lawrence. A lot of experience in the fullback positions for Beeston. Lawrence getting pressed by Roach, up to Gleeson at right half. Plays a really nice ball down the line to Park. We can't get past Richard Smith, up to Shipley. Seeing a lot of the ball, Shipley, in these early exchanges. Really nice ball out to Edwards. Mark Edwards up to Sam French. Up against James Sutcliffe. formerly of Brooklands, made the transfer across to Beeston for this season. Willards, really well done to win the ball back from Harry Martin there. Now Beeston can attack through Chris Proctor, their top goal scorer in the regular season. Proctor, he's looking to go quickly up to Gareth Griffiths. Up against Matt Guys-Brown, South African international and master drag flicker. Be looking to win some corners. Hampstead and Westminster and try and get him firing. Smith on this right-hand side. Can't get past Bloomfield. Willards into Dixon. A one-time ball out to Bloomfield. They'll go back for the first free hit. Beeston, like Surbiton in the first game, operating a zone press. Players not marking individual players, just operating in zones. Ball played in by Willards into the D, and Dixon has it. Trying to work some space, really well tackled by Richard Smith. Gleeson hovering over the ball, plays it out to Gleghorn right in the middle of the pitch, surveying forward, electing to go left to the captain, Stephen Lawrence. Sutcliffe on this left-hand side, keeping possession, and now Lawrence can deliver into the D. He's managed to find and connect with Gareth Griffiths. Griffiths getting the right-hand side of his defender, but Harry Martin just plays it off the back line. Toby Roach thought he'd been gifted the ball by Sutcliffe. The umpires alert to the reality of the situation. Gleeson again hovering over the ball. Bit of a staring match between him and Roach. Likes to go back to Lawrence. Willards up to the GB captain Adam Dixon. Can't play this by Beeston. A nice ball into Gleeson, a screen, but Shipley's done really well. Gleghorn back, the two number 9s fighting there. And Shipley wins the free hit for Hampstead and Westminster. Really good defence shown there. The best defence in the league, Hampstead. Only conceded 21 goals. They've scored 13 goals in the first 10 minutes of the games this season, which is the most out of any team in the league. So we're looking for a quick start as they play it up to one of their strikers on the right-hand side. Sutcliffe is over to defend, and Chris Proctor trying to work his way down the left-hand touchline. Known for his quick hands, Chris Proctor has managed to win the ball and play the ball up to Park. Park trying to get away from Shipley. Not an easy job, that's for sure. Shipley, one of the fastest players in the league. Back to cover Park. First 5 minutes, you have to say, dominated by Beeston having possession in these areas of the pitch. Quite comfortably able to pass it around the back. Hampstead and Westminster trying to spring out. Sutcliffe cutting inside nicely and finding Proctor in the D. Chris Proctor, can he work some space? Proctor. And it's Shipley with a tackle, but it's played back onto his foot. Rupert Shipley doing a lot of defending. But the Beeston player managed to tackle it back onto Shipley's foot. And there'll be a chance for Mark Gleghorn from the corner. Mark Gleghorn, the number 9 on the left castle. You saw in the warm-ups him and Chris Proctor working a lot together, so you'd have to expect that to be the first routine. Gleghorn, 5 goals in the regular season. A little shift for the castle. Gleghorn didn't quite get hold of it. A relatively easy save for Toby Reynolds-Cottrell in the Hampstead and Westminster goal. It's one in, one back, Gleghorn. Sutcliffe across to Gleeson. Gleeson up against Kapler. Stephen Lawrence over to Ollie Willards. Chris Proctor picking up the ball left-hand side of the pitch. Willards looking to take the free hit quickly. That's a really good tackle on him, preventing him getting into the D. Sutcliffe with space to carry forward. Up to Willards again. A lot of play down that left-hand side for Beeston. Lawrence, Beeston getting just pushed out here. by the Hampstead and Westminster press. Gleeson, excellent work to get rid of Calnan, and Gleeson can carry towards the D, plays in a fizzing ball into the D. It was a Hampstead and Westminster defender that took it away from Chris Proctor. Lovely bit of skill by Gleeson at right half. Mark Gleghorn on the long corner. Plays it back and out. Stephen Lawrence, bobbling ball, and Lawrence has to work hard to keep it under control. Gleeson trying to get his first touch away from Calnan. Hampstead Westminster defender back in to make the tackle. Illegally though, judges umpire Lee Barron. Great ball from Gleeson. And Griffiths with his first touch manages to get it goalwards. Toby Reynolds Cottrell again called into action. Halfway through this first quarter. Gleghorn just passes the ball straight to Calnan, and can Hampstead Westminster counter-attack? No, they can't. Dixon's there to intercept, and he's got it back from Gleghorn. Adam Dixon on the right-hand side. Well across from Matt Guys-Brown. Beeston free hit. Park taking it quickly. He just dribbles it out the baseline for a 16, and Hampstead Westminster will get the ball back after a long spell without seeing any sort of possession. Quan Brown trying to pull some strings at the back. Really good work this is. Hampstead Westminster keeping hold of the ball, really patient. Play around the back. Guys-Brown. Good skills in the middle by Melclett, sorry. Richard Smith on the left. Not a lot of head of it. He tries to play it to the top of the D, and it's easily dealt with by Willars. Richard Lawrence can't get away from Furlong, and they'll go down the left again, Hampstead. Calnan up against Park, really good tackle. Off his foot, says Lee Barron. Not sure about that, seems to come off the stick to me. They'll come back for it. Umpires in a bit of disagreement there as to where the free hit should be taken from, and it's going to be outside the 23. That was the inside the 23. That was the specification. Finally, we're there. Richard Smith on the left-hand side, back to Quan Brown. And across to Matt Guys-Brown. Good ball in. Willars with the interception. And now they're back inside their D. Beeston will go to man marking. Everyone picks up a man except for Ollie Willars, so try and get on line to goal. Played in far too high there, and Beeston will be given back the ball. Chris Cargill there with the attempted cross. Just can't got two underneath it. It happens a lot on the reverse stick. Difficult to control, difficult skill to execute. Hampstead and Westminster dropping into a three-quarter press. Willars has to deal with a bobbling ball, does really well. Spinning away and playing forward. Matt Guys-Brown reads it nicely. Guys-Brown to Cargo on this left-hand side, but Lawrence done really well to win it back. And here comes Ward into Sharp. Joe Sharp plays the ball, a blind pass through to Proctor. It doesn't quite pay off, and Hampstead can counter. Calnan streaking away from Willars. Great change of pace from Calnan, and he's got Oates on his left. He decides to go alone. Calnan! Wide of the left-hand post. Fantastic run by Will Calnan, deciding to go alone and smashing it wide. We'll have a look there, not far away from the GB in England striker. As we're back with the action, it's Beeston on the attack, this time Proctor trying to draw a foul, holding his head. And the umpire Lee Barron will go and check that he's okay. What a chance for Will Calnan, and he did incredibly well, showing his pace, sprinting away and getting a really nice shot where he couldn't find the target. Simon Hoodrun diving away to his right. And a breaking play, and we can all catch our breaths for a bit. Bush Proctor slow to his feet. Certainly in a lot of discomfort. The Beeston striker, their top goal scorer, they'll want to see him returning to the field, and must be bleeding as one of the members of staff here at Lee Valley, has to do a little cleaning up job. And Matt Guys-Brown will just have to wait a bit as we wash the blood off the pitch. Real operation here for the man doing the cleaning up. Safety first, gloves applied. Nice big sponge as well. Bit of elbow grease, and that's that. We should be able to get underway. Only a speck of Chris Proctor's blood on the pitch. A round of applause from the fans here at Lee Valley for the man doing the cleaning up. And we're ready to get back underway. Quan Brown, always looking forward, always looking to be on the attack. Quan Brown, even at fullback, plays it up to Johnny Gooch, who plays it back to Brown. This is really good play. Sam French on the left-hand side. Up to Toby Roach. It was slightly telegraphed by French. Lawrence managed to get a touch, which was just enough to put off Roach, sorry. Lawrence doing well to get back in defence. Cargo claiming he wasn't 5. It was certainly on the edges of the 5-metre line. Beeston, though, giving back possession. Willars, high press this by Hampstead. It's a missed touch by Willars, and he's just pushed it straight out the Beeston fullback, gifting the ball back to Sam French and Hampstead. Sam French taking on Adam Dixon. Into the deep, Joe Sharp's there, still going French. 16 given. Sam French with the shot from the narrow angle. Simon Hudran did well to jump out and put him under pressure. It was good skills initially by French to get into that position. And here he is, pressuring Marshall. And successfully, Sam French doing really well at left wing, winning the ball back for Beeston. And here comes a little bit more rain. As I said, really strange weather here at Lee Valley. Cold, then sunny, then drizzly. Nothing strange about the play, though on display. Croft lucky to get away with that one. Claiming that he thought it was a free hit to Beeston. He was able to disrupt the Hampstead attack just slightly. Quan Brown, though, on the ball. Just drops it out to Matt Guys-Brown. Patient play by Hampstead. Roach with a lot of space in a screen, playing it out wide. Mark Edwards working the right-hand side. Furlong trying to get back the ball back from Adam Dixon. Calm, patient play by Beeston, but a little too calm. Missed pass by Lawrence back to Dixon. And Mark Edwards will have it for Hampstead and Westminster in the right-hand corner of the pitch. Cargo harassed by 2 Beeston defenders, and Croft comes away with it. Good skills by the young Beeston player. Dixon looking long, looking for Gareth Griffiths, and he's overcooked it, but at least does the job of clearing the lines for Beeston, and they can get out of that situation. You can hear the calls from Ollie Willars. Well, I don't know if you can, but I certainly can, calling for a half-court press. Beeston dropping off now into a half-court press, allowing Hampstead and Westminster to play with the ball around the back, and then they'll try and jump in and put pressure when they play into the zones. That's exactly what they want with that half-court press. They want Quan Brown to force it from the back. There he was playing a long aerial ball straight into Robbie Gleason's path. Hampstead and Westminster player comes in, and Gleason wins the free hit. You'll see Beeston switch between that half-court zone, a little higher press. Hampstead and Westminster as well like to jump out and spring press. Good play though by Beeston down the left-hand side. Park cutting inside. Mark Edwards just fouled the young Beeston striker, formerly of Reading. Park. Marshall across to Willars. Missed pass out to Gleason. He's got Ward down the line and Griffiths. Guys-Brown marshalling Griffiths out wide. Griffiths back to Gleason. Again, Guys-Brown there with the touch. Sharp Robbie Gleeson trying to power it in. Have they got the ball back? Beeston, yes they have, on the top of the D. No, says Lee Barron, giving the ball back to Hampstead Westminster. A little scrappy bit of play. Gleeson trying to force the ball in as we approach quarter time. A different format to the regular season. 4 quarters of 15 minutes here in the playoffs. Quan Brown just checking the clock. And there is the quarter time hooter. For the second time today, the first quarter locked in at 0-0. The team's coming back out, only a 2-minute break at the quarter time. Still 0-0 between Hampstead and Westminster, and Beeston playing for a place in the final against Surbiton. It's the first time that Hampstead and Beeston have met in the playoffs. Obviously played twice this year. Hampstead beating Beeston on the first occasion 2-1. And then Beeston in the return fixture winning 1-0. 0-0 here at Lee Valley. And Hampstead and Westminster will get us back underway as the wind and rain comes in, flying straight through our booth here, up in the top parts of the ground. And we're ready to go again. Harry Martin back to Melkert. Quan Brown looking forward Martin, and the Beeston press descends upon him. Bloomfield comes away with it, a little miscommunication, but the umpire was playing advantage, and it will be a Beeston ball. Willards playing the ball out to Lawrence. Now to Gleeson right half, bit of space here for Robbie Gleeson, carrying the ball forward, and finds Gareth Griffiths on the top of the D. Nice skill from Griffiths, can he get a shot away? He can, it's Quan Brown with the block. And Richard Smith manages to keep the ball in. Nervy moments for Hampstead and Westminster. Quan Brown with the block in front of his goalkeeper, but now they can attack through Oates. Draws a foul from Gleghorn, no! Stick blocked by Oates, Gleghorn protesting and gives Lee Barron a thumbs up. Gleghorn up to Proctor, under pressure from Guys Brown. Illegal play by Guys Brown. Proctor onto his reverse. Toby Reynolds Cottrell dealing well with the ball. A shot from Chris Proctor on the reverse. Beeston growing into this game. A couple of chances at the start of the second quarter. Dixon out to Marshall. And they'll build again. Try and set up a high line. Willars up to Gleeson for Beeston, sorry. Gleeson charging at Oates and Calnan. And apparently he is fouled Calnan in the process of that dribble, shaking his head, Robbie Gleeson. And Richard Smith plays it across to Matt Guys Brown. Up down the line, Gleghorn with the tackle on Harry Martin. And another heavy tackle by Park this time. Umpire just having a word with the Beeston defenders, telling them to watch their tackles. Guys Brown across to Quan Brown. Richard Smith splitting pass to Guys Brown. Now they look to work the right hand side, Hampstead. Park across to meet Mark Edwards. Quan Brown in the left fullback pocket. looking to run, looking to move forward, looking for passes ahead of him, Quan Brown. Not a lot in the form of Hampstead players. He's done really well, Quan, to find a pass to Martin. Gleghorn with a flat stick, and away comes Mark Gleghorn onto his reverse. And Bloomfield wasn't expecting that at all. And the rain starts to fall at Lee Valley. Hampstead with the ball again. Nice layoff pass, looking for Calnan down the line. Marshall across to meet Calnan. Really well. Carl Marshall, one of a number of Nottingham Trent University current and old boys in this Beeston team. Gleghorn into Lawrence, who just plays it straight to Quan Brown. Plenty of space now for the Hampstead and Westminster players. Cargo carrying towards the D, looking for Calnan. Calnan trying to work a bit of space. Probably had the best chance of the first half for Hampstead. Or the first quarter, sorry. Guys Brown, just come back from an ankle injury, missed the last game of the season against Brooklands. Quan Brown electing not to play the ball into the D. Back to Richard Smith. And Smith able to carry forward. Willars there at the block, reading the play as a spare man should do. Getting on the line to goal. Park on the counter-attack. Really good carry this by Park. And just as I say that, he gives the ball back to Melkert. And it's Hampstead and Westminster on it. Calnan across to French, literally just come off the bench. Sam French. Ollie Willars across to cover for the Beeston team. Melkert. And Gleghorn out to block it and deflecting it over for a long corner. Cargo to Melkert in the white headband. Guys Brown in the right fullback pocket. Johnny Gooch over on that right hand side. Sorry, Steve Kelly actually over there. Quan Brown across to Rich Smith. One time ball to Cargo. Cargo had to wait for it a little bit, but managed to get a nice ball across to Oates. Trying to win a foul, Oates. And he's only kicked the ball, he only gone and fouled the Beeston players. Nice little period of possession there for Hampstead, but Beeston doing a really good job of shutting them outside their D. Not allowing any easy circle possessions. Gleeson back to Willars. And Lawrence plays a one-time ball powerfully at the field. Well intercepted by Kelly, but it'll be the other Lawrence who will get the ball. Richard intercepted by another Richard. Richard Smith this time for Hampstead. Will Cannon on the left. Stumbles but manages to keep his footing, and back to Harry Martin. England and GB teammates, Calnan and Martin. Calnan, look. Martin on this left-hand side, away to Melkert. Melkert cutting inside. Cargos drops it out to Guys Brown. He's got Kelly over on the right-hand side, but Lawrence is really well there to cut that option, and they keep down the left-hand side. Here there from Richard Smith. It's got to go out. They want it out. They want to switch it to the other side. Gooch back to Kelly. And Kelly and Gooch, miscommunication, and that is really good pressing by Beeston. You don't really see it off camera, but they're working really hard, operating in their zones to shut out any options forward and win the ball back. And as soon as they do so, they cough it back to Hampstead and Harry Martin. Up to Sam French. There's a nice ball into Oates, but miscommunication, misconnection. Ollie Willars at right fullback, surveying the situation. He's got Mark Gleghorn just ahead of him, and Richard Lawrence to his left. Stephen Lawrence, sorry, to his left. The third sibling pair of the day. We had the Gauls in the first game, the Gauls and the Lawrences, and the third sibling pair has just escaped my mind. The Faulkners, of course. Faulkners, Gauls, and the Lawrences. A family affair here at Lee Valley. Willars. Back to the hockey. Up to intercepted by Guys Brown. He gives the ball back to Gleghorn. Gleghorn looking over the top. Gives it straight back to Guys Brown. Little interchange there by the two penalty corner specialists. Sam French over on the left-hand side. Harassed by Sharp and Gleghorn. Does really well, French. Lovely link up with Cargo. And plays it forward to Oates. Oates with Shipley wide on the right-hand side. Shipley has it. And he's got his captain Roach in the middle if you can find him. Sutcliffe. Really clever, definitely a legal bit of play by Sutcliffe. Just knocking the ball away on the whistle. Gets away with it this time. Breaks down the Hampstead counter-attack. Guys Brown up to Sam French. Intercepted by Robbie Gleeson. Guys Brown onto his reverse, plays a ball right through the top and everyone's missed it except for Furlong over on the right hand side, just about manages to keep it in play. Furlong dropping out to Quan Brown. An aerial ball should have been easily taken down by Gleeson, but he's given the ball to French and fouled him in the D. Sam French winning a penalty corner for Beeston. Something out of nothing there. Gleeson should have been able to deal with the aerial ball relatively easily. But the missed trap down to French, and Gleeson in his haste to get back and defend nudges over Sam French and gives the first corner to Hampstead and Westminster, and the first chance for Matt Guys Brown to unleash one of his drag flicks. 13 goals this season, 12 from penalty corners. You see him here marking out his position at the left castle. Guys Brown, number 13. Little shift into the middle. Guys Brown, and it's saved by Simon Hoodrun, incredibly on the line. Hampstead appealing for another corner and they've got it. Simon Hoodrun with an incredible double save to deny Hampstead from their first corner of the game. Great save there, off the post. And then he saves Cargo's rebound. Didn't know a lot about it, Simon Hoodrun. And in the melee that followed, it hit a Beeston foot. See here, little movement at the castle. Guys Brown now in the middle of the goal. It's just about saved by Simon Hoodrun. And he does really well. Deliberately off the back line to give away another corner. Another shift. It's Guys Brown again. Little mistrap on the top. Guys Brown though gets it back. And Beeston do a good job of shutting it down. It was the mistrap at the top of the corner that let the Hampstead players down there. And the Beeston penalty corner defence team doing really well to manage the situation and win a free hit. And Dixon just slowing down play, hurried up by Mark Edwards. And Shipley pressing. Quan Brown has called this press from the back, calling for the spring, and Shipley's won it back for Hampstead. Shipley's got French over on the right hand side. Sam French back to this left hand side. Just about gets through to Johnny Gooch. It's back to his captain Toby Roach, who started the game at centre forward and is now in at fullback. The captain. See all teams at this level extremely fluid in their positions. Forwards playing in the defensive line, midfielders moving all over the place. And here is Roach at fullback, pressured by his opposite number Griffiths. And they've done really well, Hampstead. Lovely link up by Cargo and Brown. And now it's Gooch on this left hand side. One time pass across by French. Oates has it on the top of the E. And he's won another corner for Hampstead. Sutcliffe electing to try and clear it first time. And you see he's frustrated, the Beeston number 13, deciding to one-time it away from goal. And just one-timed it straight into the path of Oates, who just tries to find a foot. And it'll be another penalty corner to Hampstead and Westminster. Still goalless here in the second semi-final. About 5 minutes left in the first half. Playing for a place in the final against Surbiton. Guys Brown now off the right castle. Guys Brown, good save again by Hoodrun. This time tipping it over the bar. A relatively easy height for the Beeston keeper. Away to his right hand side. But still a good save. Quan Brown. Little shoulder feint, and he works it away to the right-hand side. Roach, the captain, plays it straight into Joe Sharp's back stick, and Sharp manages to win a free hit and plays it up to Croft, who's all on his own here. Croft, but he's done well to get past Guys Brown. Guys Brown flying in. Croft surrounded by Hampstead players and manages to win a foul. About 5 Hampstead defenders there all around Croft, and he did really well, the young Beeston forward, to allow the rest of the team to come up, and now they can build Beeston with their captain, Lawrence. Sutcliffe picking up the ball at right half, taking on Shipley. Shipley, good blocking, good defensive work by the forward. Quan Brown has it in the back left-hand corner. Nice play by Oates, really strong play by Oates. He's disrupted by Dixon and Sutcliffe. They've won it back. Sutcliffe, lovely disguised pass to Gareth Griffiths. Rupert Shipley back in defending. Doing a lot of defensive work, the Hampstead striker. Sharp out to Dixon. Kai Kapler doing a job of disrupting the current GB captain. Outside the 23, so he can obviously play it straight into the D, and Dixon does. Looking for Croft. Guys Brown did a good job of blocking there, and it's away to Toby Roach, trying to link up with Furlong on that right-hand side. Still be Beeston ball. Marshall into Dixon at screen. Willars. Cross to Lawrence. Here comes the Hampstead spring press. Kapler trying to get out and block. And Sutcliffe trying an audacious first time pass down the line. Gives it away, and Edwards with a first time pass of his own to Kapler. Kai Kapler into the D. Blocking the ball. Gives away the free hit. A dangerous position for Hampstead on the left hand side of the D. Kai Kapler gives away the free hit, blocking the ball with his stick. Here comes the Hampstead spring press again. Rupert Shipley jumping out and putting pressure on Lawrence. Cargo this time up to pressurise Marshall. Marshall, little shoulder feint, but he can't get away from Cargo. Settles for a sideline ball. Willars, raking reverse stick pass up to the top of the D. Kelly intercepts it and plays it away to Gooch. Nice skills by Mark Edwards on the right hand side. Gets away to Harry Martin, and they'll look to switch the play. Quan Brown, he's got Melker out to his left. Melker or Melky to his teammates, plays it into Quan Brown, who plays a really nice ball. And Hampstead are on the attack again. Rupert Shipley opting to go back to Melkert. Quan Brown up to Guys Brown. Nice play over on the right hand side. Kapler on the reverse turn, and it's a good touch by Calnan just in front of Hujwan, and Hujwan needed to make a save. Mark Edwards out to Quan Brown. Good job by Gareth Griffiths to intercept, and Bloomfield can counter. Oh, and if he could get that pass through, Gareth Griffiths was in. Quan Brown showing his experience, getting on the right line and making the interception. Melkert with Proctor for company. Now working the right hand side. Harry Martin tried to beat Beeston player with his first touch. Beeston win a free hit. Adam Dixon looking long, but no options forward. He'll leave it for Marshall at left half. As we approach half time, still 0-0. Hampstead had the better chances, you'd have to say. A couple of big saves by Simon Hudron from Guys Brown and the penalty corner team. Apart from that, and the Will Calnan chance in the first quarter, not a lot else to trouble the Beeston keeper. Beeston, can they get the ball in the D in the last play of the first half? And Bloomfield and Proctor can't link up, and that is half time. Second semi-final, 0-0 between Hampstead Westminster and Beeston. Still waiting for the breakthrough. We'll have to see who will meet Surbiton in tomorrow's final after the break.
Beeston goalless at the break, but we're guaranteed some goals. And during the half-time.
The fear of playing with fear is probably what scares me the most. I play on the edge, you need that fiery side. I set out to do this because I want to be one of the best players in the world. You do it because you do love it, you do it because those moments where you're successful and nothing else matters in the whole world.
just off the sideline, off the corner flag, right in the corner. Matt Guys-Brown, and Beeston will step up their press, giving himself an extra bit of room there. Matt Guys-Brown, he looks long to Richard Smith, who wins the free hit. Robbie Gleeson pleading his innocence. Smith looking to go quickly. Martin, good first touch, cutting inside, winning the foul on the left-hand side of the pitch. Mark Edwards on the ball for Hampstead. Melkert. Matt Guys-Brown straight onto the attack, Hampstead. And across the face of the goal, Callan trying to get a touch on it. Steve Kelly with the ball across. It just goes out the other side for a Beeston free hit. And here's the Hampstead press, high from Hampstead, straight to start the second half. Pressure on Gleeson, he's giving up the ball for a long corner. An interesting change of tactic there by Hampstead, stepping up their press. Quan Brown, probably instigator of that tactical decision, throwing an aerial across to Kelly on this right side, taking on Lawrence. Nice bit of play into the middle. Ollie Willars deals with it for Beeston, and it's just gone out. Kai Cutler realising there that it had gone out the back line for a Beeston 16. Ollie Willars looking to work the left-hand side to Marshall. Quan Brown across the intercept, but he's giving the ball back to Proctor. He just couldn't bring it under control. Chris Proctor had a head injury earlier in the game. Park with a heavy tackle on Martin. Did take the ball, but it was a little bit too much physicality for the umpire's liking. Smith into Oates. Mark Edwards on the left-hand side. Callan trying to create a bit of room. Blasts it back out to Richard Smith, who will have a chance to play it into the D. Decides not to, decides to come back out to Guys-Brown, across to Quan Brown. Callan, one-time ball into the danger zone. Willars under pressure, Oates. Lee Barron decides fouls. That Oates fouled the Beeston player. Took a moment to make that decision, Lee Barron. It's a bit messy, a bit scrappy after that Callan first touch into a dangerous area. Gleghorn picking the ball up at screen, playing a nice ball across to Bloomfield, but can't get past Melkert. And now Hampstead have a chance to attack. Gleeson across to intercept in front of Martin, knocking the ball into Martin's midriff, and Park just dragging his feet and kicking the ball along to break down the attack. Melkert delivering the ball, and you can't connect with Oates. Not the only games going on today, we also have the promotion and relegation playoffs over on pitch 2. In the first game, the University of Exeter beat Havant 4-2, and Bowden have just been defeated by Old Georgians by 6 goals to 3. Yes. Which means that tomorrow's games, Bowden can theoretically still get promoted, but they'll have to overcome a serious goal differential. Back to pitch 1 though. There's men's second semi-final. Hampstead and Westminster versus Beeston. Hampstead and Westminster with an attack. Guys-Brown playing the ball into the D, and Ollie Willars deflects it into Gleeson's foot, into his teammate's foot, giving away the short corner. Seems to be able to deal with it relatively easily, Willars, but his touch took it into Gleeson's foot, and it will be Hampstead and Westminster's 5th corner of the game. Simon Hudjuan there, marshalling his troops, one of them being Carl Marshall. Managed to save Guys-Brown once already. Guys-Brown lining up on the right-hand castle. Richard Smith over on the left. Quan Brown as well, next to, on the shoulder of Guys-Brown. Guys-Brown with a strike, goes high, and Hudjuan deals with it relatively easily, tipping it over the bar. Didn't even have to move the Beeston keeper. Edwards out to Melkert. Richard Smith as the sun shines down upon Lee Valley. Guys-Brown up against Park and Proctor trying to put pressure on, but it's just left a bit of space on the left-hand side for Smith to play into, and yet again Robbie Gleeson jumping in front of the Hampstead striker to intercept and knocking it over the sideline. Hampstead get the ball back. Guys Brown again pressured by Park and Proctor. A bit of a lucky escape there for Guys Brown. He managed to find Smith on the right-hand side. Cargo. Again, luckily managed to find a Beeston foot. Didn't quite have control of that, Cargo. Quan Brown. Great ball to Cargo. Cargo on the baseline. Plays it straight into Hudwan's kickers. Fantastic pass by Quan Brown to find Cargo in all kinds of space. Guys Brown across to Quan Brown. Into Cargo again. Tries the one-time deflection in. Appeals for a corner. Lee Barron unmoving, and now Beeston can counter-attack. Lawrence has got Gleghorn ahead of him. Mark Gleghorn stretching his legs. He's got two players in the middle, Park and Proctor. Tries to fire it across and does get it to Proctor. Chris Proctor. Nicely dealt with by the Hampstead and Westminster defenders. For a moment there, we thought they had a chance there, Beeston. And now it's a chance for Hampstead. Roach, the team's captain, playing it back to Shipley. And Rupert Shipley, good carry into the 23. And off for a 16. Just couldn't connect. There, first Beeston through Mark Gleghorn and Chris Proctor. And there, Hampstead and Westminster, Rupert Shipley just couldn't find Toby Roach ahead of him. Still 0-0. Halfway through the third quarter at Lee Valley. Sutcliffe on the left-hand side. Slings the ball up to Park and it strikes Matt Guys Brown's foot. Croft, sorry, tries to take it quickly. Getting my young Beeston strikers mixed up. Sutcliffe for Beeston. Back to Ollie Willards, right in the middle of the pitch. Stephen Lawrence over on the right hand side. Proctor tries to do Shipley with his first touch, but Shipley recovers from falling over really well. And Rupert Shipley can stretch his legs. He tried to find Kapler, but Dixon was there to intercept, and Dixon plays the ball straight back to Kelly. Kapler trying to keep it in. Intercepted by Griffiths. Sharp to Griffiths. Gareth Griffiths finds Adam Dixon. Rolling back onto his reverse. Quan Brown across to cover. Experienced Hampstead and Westminster player coach. Kelly under pressure at the back. Melkert to Kapler. Sutcliffe there to beat it away, and Gareth Chris has got a bit of space on the top of the D, finds Proctor! And he's missed, no, it's a save by Toby Reynolds-Cottrell. Chris Proctor, Beeston's top goal scorer in the regular season. Just dragging it to the left of Cottrell. It's an incredible save actually by Reynolds-Cottrell to the left-hand side. Gleeson now for Beeston. Over the back line. What a save by Toby Reynolds-Cottrell. Did him a disservice initially, but he did really well to get down and glove it away with his left hand. Guys Brown with plenty of time. Beeston sitting deep in their zone. Croft applying a little bit of pressure, jumping out the young forward and pushing Guys Brown through. Melker covering back into Guys Brown's initial position. Croft getting the call from his coach to drop back into the zone. Harry Martin back to Furlong, across to Quan Brown. Lots of interchange in the back line. Furlong has it now at fullback. Guys Brown over at right half, taking on Gareth Griffiths. Griffiths harassing Guys Brown, has done really well. Sharp across to Croft. They've got an overload here if they can make the most of it. Beeston. Croft managing to get the ball back from Harry Martin. Plays the ball nicely along. Chris Proctor to Sharp. The left-hand shoulder of the D, trying to work a bit of space. Joe Sharp can only find Melker, the Hampstead and Westminster defender, clearing the lines. They're trying to play themselves out here, Hampstead. Furlong on the right-hand side. Slings the ball down to Harry Martin. Exceptional play by Hampstead. Well known for their tick-attacker play. They're tick-attacking their way up the pitch now. Cargo carrying towards the D. Willars with a little touch. Martin across to Shipley, and Shipley celebrates the first goal of the game. Hampstead and Westminster take the lead. And you can see the joy on Rupert Shipley's face. Cargo just gets the ball away to Martin. Martin to Shipley in front of Hudwan. And a very enjoyable celebration there by Rupert Shipley. And the fans behind the Hampstead and Westminster bench loved it as well. But here come Beeston, Adam Dixon trying to get his team back on the front foot, trailing Hampstead and Westminster 1-0 in the second men's semi-final. Marshall, reverse ball down to Dixon. Good tackle by Martin on his GB captain. Dixon out to Lawrence. Beeston trying to build some possession and work their way back into the game. Ball down to Gareth Griffiths. The right hand corner decides to smack it in. And Richard Smith gets one on his shin pad. Proctor trying to work some space. Didn't seem to have gone fine. Proctor on the reverse. Smith to meet him. Sharp has equalised within seconds of Hampstead going behind. Joe Sharp has equalised for Beeston. Chris Proctor on the right hand shoulder of the D, creating the space and getting the ball across to Joe Sharp. Joe Sharp pumping the air. 1-1. And after 50 minutes of goalless hockey, we've just had 2 within a minute. First Rupert Shipley for Hampstead, and now Joe Sharp for Beeston. A spark of excitement in this second semi-final. Cargo, the creator of Hampstead's goal, picking the ball in up the screen. Quan Brown to Harry Martin. Beeston with a high press, trying to disrupt, and all it's done is left space in behind. Oates away to Martin, he's got Furlong on his right hand side if you can find him. Play on, says Lee Barron. Furlong gets it across to Mark Edwards. The game opening up now. Calnan into the D. And somehow Sutcliffe managed to foul him outside the D. Hampstead and Westminster fans wanted a penalty corner, and Calnan, that never travelled 5 there by Will Calnan. And it'll be a Beeston ball. The game coming alive as we approach the end of the third quarter. Marshall back to Lawrence. Lawrence across to Willars. Sutcliffe with an easy ball down the line to Ward. Ward does incredibly well to keep it in and stretch his legs to get away from Quan Brown. Down to Lawrence on the baseline, trying to find Proctor in the middle, and Richard Smith deflects it off the back line. Dixon to Ward, into the D. Sam French can only play it off the back line. Pressure on Hampstead and Westminster through Beeston pressure. Dixon back to Willars. Lawrence across to Marshall. Carl Marshall trying to find Park. Will Calnan's across to defend. Into the goal scorer Sharp. He can't bring it under control. And can Hampstead break here? They got a bit of space. French against Sutcliffe on this right hand side. Cuts inside Sam French. There's no support here. He's done incredibly well, Sam French, to get it across to Furlong. Surrounded by Beeston defenders. Furlong going back out to Quan Brown. Edwards missing a first time ball. And the ball trails off for a 16. 2 minutes to go before the end of this third quarter. Sutcliffe looking long, and he's found Proctor, and now an overload for Beeston. They got a 3v2. Proctor looking across to Gleghorn. Calnan back to defend. An interesting decision there by Proctor to go for the crossfield aerial. He had Park in support ahead of him in a 3v2. Willars in at the left fullback position. Sutcliffe, a sliding pass, a real feature of his play, James Sutcliffe. Those sliding slap passes. It's well blocked by Oates. Bloomfield. Back to Lawrence. Across to Marshall. At right half, Kyle Marshall smashes the ball into Kai Kapler. And that didn't sound like shin pad. That looked like calf to me. Kapler limping off that one. And a missed pass by Lawrence. Willards showing his frustration, and Mark Edwards can counter. Gifted the ball back by the Beeston captain. Melker against Sutcliffe. Harry Martin trying to go up against his England GB teammate Ollie Willards, and Willards the victor that time. Rivals at university, Willards at Nottingham Trent and Martin at Nottingham University. Richard Smith across to Calnan. A few of the Beeston defenders out of position as we approach the end of the third quarter. A few tired legs need to show real intensity in this quarter. Oh, and a missed pass there by Hampstead and Westminster, and everyone can catch their breath for a second. Ollie Willards, one of those players, having streaked forward, just takes a second to gather himself. Hampstead and Westminster dropping off their press to the three quarter, and we will just let the clock tick down to the end of the third quarter. Two goals in the third quarter, first for Hampstead through Richard Shipley, and an equaliser within seconds from Joe Sharp. Sets the scene for a very exciting final quarter. These two teams playing for a place in the final against Surbiton. We're just about to get back underway. The second semi-final, the men's playoffs. Beeston and Hampstead and Westminster locked at 1-1. Final 15 minutes. Has to be a winner at the end of it. As I said, in the history of this fixture, only one game has ever been decided by more than one goal. These two teams locked throughout history, it seems. Rupert Shipley, the first goal scorer for Hampstead. Kapler can't quite get his touch past the Beeston player, and it goes out for a 16. 2 balls on the pitch. Ollie Willards just calming things down for Beeston. He's going to need all the experience as we approach full time. Obviously still plenty of hockey to be played in this final quarter. Croft did well to get in front of Guys Brown, and Bloomfield now can attack for Beeston. Guys Brown, Kwanbra across to meet him, giving the foul away. Bloomfield winning the foul about a metre outside the D on the left-hand side. Plays the ball out to Mark Leghorn. What he'd do for a chance from a penalty corner. Lawrence plays the ball into Roach, the two captains linking up. A bit of scrappy play. Richard Smith manages to get it away to Shipley on the left-hand side, cutting infield. Park trying to disrupt the Hampstead Westminster number 9. Melker, lovely bit of skill to get away from Lawrence, and plays a delightful ball across. Gooch just couldn't get there before Sutcliffe. And Sutcliffe wins the foul from Kapler. Steve Kelly saw on this right-hand side. Hampstead and Westminster again sitting back, inviting play like that. Sutcliffe gifting the ball back to them. He's given one a free hit as well. Melkert plays it into the middle. Quan Brown trying to get his team going forward. A missed trap by the Hampstead and Westminster player coach. Oh, a lovely bit of skill by Quan Brown. Plays it up to Oates on the left-hand shoulder D, trying to create a bit of space. Oates, Sutcliffe there to clear. Adam Dixon up against Melkert. Going backwards, Beeston here on the left-hand side. Dixon in his own corner, pressured by Melkert. Little game of chicken played there, and Adam Dixon wins out. There'll be a Beeston 16. Ollie Willard's asking for movement up front, but both sides showing signs of tiredness as we approach the last 10 minutes of this game. Willard's looking long to Gareth Griffiths, and Gareth Griffiths can't control it. Really nice ball from Willard's. Griffiths with plenty of space and time. Couldn't bring it under control in his reverse. Now Rupert Shipley. Can he spark a bit of energy in this Hampstead side? Quan Brown up to Guys Brown. Into Melkert. Poor first touch by Melkert. Gives the ball to Park. Park gets the way well to Bloomfield. Back to Park. Good link at this by Beeston. Proctor, Beeston's top goal scorer in the regular season, on the left-hand side. Sutcliffe down to Adam Dixon. Gets the ball back to Park. Park just can't bring it under control. The umpire's in disagreement as to whose the free hit is. Lee Barron showing furiously that it's his call that will count. A little bit of miscommunication here between whose free hit it is. Lee Barron indicating that it's a Beeston ball, the umpire. Here we see it will be a Beeston ball. Lee Barron's side of the pitch, of course. Dixon to Proctor, trying to work a bit of space. Proctor up against Richard Smith. Good tackle by Melkert. Proctor known for his quick hands. Created Beeston's equaliser, scored by Joe Sharp. Dixon back to Willards, trying to build a bit of pressure and force Hampstead deep. Sutcliffe trying to just force it there. Feel he had a bit more time, a bit more patience could have been displayed. Quan Brown just lets it go off the back for a 16. Cargo trying to play it forward, first time pass, really well taken down by Mark Edwards. Cross to Harry Martin, up to Calnan in the left-hand corner of the pitch. Guys Brown now playing a ball into the D, and it's hit Sutcliffe's foot. It's going to be a corner, the 6th of the day for Hampstead. The ball played in from deep from Guys Brown, but he's got a really powerful slap on him, the South African international. I tell you what else is powerful is drag flicks, and surely it'll be him again from the top of the D. Simon Hudron has been able to meet them so far. The last one relatively easy up to his left-hand side. Guys Brown has gone high and low. The only place he hasn't gone, so he's gone bottom left, tried to go top left, tried to go top right. What are the chances of a bottom right flick here from Guys Brown? They also have Sam French on that left castle, which they sometimes go to. Oh, it's a missed drag out by Cargo. Rupert Shipley goes in to get it. Cargo back to Quan Brown on the top of the D. Beeston players back in defence. Calnan on the right hand side into the D, trying to create a bit of space. Calnan, and he's really well to win a corner despite the protests of the Beeston players, and they'll get another go at this. Hampstead. Cargo there, you see, apologising for his mistake. Couldn't quite execute the injection, but they'll get another chance. And Beeston players still not happy. Gleeson and Dixon pleading with Lee Barron. Still having a word. Hudron focuses himself. They've just changed it up, Hampstead. Guys Brown and Quan Brown at the top. Sam French over to the right hand side, so you'd expect Guys Brown to flick this. And here's Guys Brown against the post, and Sutcliffe clears. The inside of the post struck by Guys Brown. He went right. It beat the Beeston players, but it couldn't beat the frame of the goal. Still 1-1. I did have a sneaking suspicion that he would go right, Guys Brown, and he did. Just a little bit too far right. Gleeson at right half, under pressure by Shipley, and Shipley's won it back, much to the delight of the Hampstead fans over there on that side of the pitch. Harry Martin up against Adam Dixon. Martin again carrying the ball into the D. It's fallen to Cargo. Dixon doing really well to get back and defend. French this time to play it across. Another corner to Hampstead, up off the stick of Stephen Lawrence. And just moments after Guys Brown struck the post, he's going to get another go. Applying their protective gear, the Beeston players. They'll certainly need a lot of it. A Guys Brown flick strikes them. Mark Gleghorn there donning gloves and knee pads. He's likely to run number 1, given the responsibility of charging down Guys Brown. Now they have lined up Sam French on the left-hand side. Guys Brown, he's had a few attempts already in the game. And he moves over to the right. It's going to be Quan Brown slipping left to French. French up and over the bar. An interesting decision by Hampstead and Westminster to go to the variation. Guys Brown was only millimetres away a few seconds ago. And they tried to go for the slight, not quite the spin. We saw the spin really well executed by Surbiton in the first game of the day. It was more of a layoff by Quan Brown, trying to get Sam French a strike on goal. But he can only strike it over the bar. And Beeston have it. Willars under pressure by Hampstead. They've stepped up a high press. Harry Martin springing out towards Willars. Shipley up to Sutcliffe. Sutcliffe, really nice ball. Gleghorn offering the relief, and he's played a fantastic ball across to Marshall, who just can't reach it. A few oohs from the crowd. They thought Carl Marshall was in, and he was millimetres away. Fantastic vision by Mark Gleghorn. 8 minutes to go now. Quan Brown into Melkert. Is there going to be a decider in this game? Johnny Gooch on the right-hand side, trying to play the ball through, intercepted by Sutcliffe. And Carl Marshall elects to let it go off the back line and get the Beeston players back in defence. They've had a lot of possession here, Hampstead, in this final quarter. A lot of high-line possession, forcing the Beeston players deep into their D, asking questions of their man-marking abilities. Melkert on the left-hand side. Calnan, can he create some space? He can! And it's Will Calnan who scores for Hampstead! And he gives them the lead and peels away to the supporting crowd over on the left-hand side of the pitch. He only needs half a yard, Will Calnan. And that's all that Beeston gave him, all he needed. 2-1. He's still celebrating, Will Calnan. Backspace shot past Simon Hujwan. Now what will Beeston's response be this time? They scored within seconds of Hampstead's first goal. Can they go again? 7 minutes to go. Will Calnan for Hampstead and Westminster. Willars with the ball at fullback. Up to Stephen Lawrence. Adam Dixon on the right hand side. Park cutting back inside. Can he find a ball into the D? No, he can't. Really good defence by Harry Martin. And Harry Martin showing his experience and skill carrying the ball out, and draws a foul all the way back in his own 23. Quan Brown just calming down proceedings, playing the ball across to Guys Brown. Gooch cutting infield, cutting inside Proctor, and drops the ball out to Melkert. Kelly on the left-hand side, back to Quan Brown, bit of pressure applied by Lawrence. Quan Brown gives the ball away to Mark Gleghorn. And now Beeston can attack through Adam Dixon. Nice little bit of skill to get inside, but Park just can't control the bobbling ball from Dixon. Quan Brown under pressure from Chris Proctor. Plays a lovely ball out to Mark Edwards. Oates up against Sutcliffe. Sutcliffe wins out. What can James Sutcliffe do here? He draws a foul from Mark Edwards. Sutcliffe on the left-hand side. 5 minutes to go. Beeston trailing by 1. Chris Proctor draws a foul on the top of the D. Not quite desperation times for Beeston, but certainly time is up against them. Proctor trying to work some space. Sutcliffe powers the ball in, but only to Mark Edwards. Roach on the left-hand side. Nice bit of skill by Roach, but Marshall does really well to get back and make a challenge. Now it's Park carrying the ball towards the Hampstead and Westminster D. Trying to get down the baseline. It's a fantastic tackle on him. And Roach can clear up to Oates. Surrounded by Beeston players. Oates backtracking, and he crashes the ball out, giving the ball back to Beeston. Crowd in good voice for this second semi-final. These teams playing for a place in the final tomorrow against Surbiton. Hampstead currently winning, and if they were to win in the end, it'd be a repeat of last year's final. Willars looking for Park. Beeston looking to change that situation. They want to be in this final. Guys Brown just advised that it's a sideline, not a free hit. Thinks it's a law unto his own, Guys Brown. Lee Barron showing who has the true authority here. Guys Brown throwing the ball clear. Gleeson underneath it. Unsuccessfully tried to swipe at the ball, and it's down to Toby Roach in the right-hand corner. Playing for time. Lawrence up off Shipley's stick into Shipley's head, and time will be stopped for the second time in the game. Ahead injury. Shipley seems to be okay. Willars up to Lawrence. Shipley sprinting over, showing no signs of that knock. Marshall under pressure. Good skill by Kyle Marshall. Back to Lawrence. They're trying to dig it out. They can't. Cargo with the tackle. Melkert does the job for Beeston, playing the ball back to Willars. And this is where they wanted to have it. Gleeson on the left-hand side. Park dropping deeper and deeper. The Beeston strikers try and get onto the ball. Tackle by Melkert. Mark Gleghorn. Back to Willars. Looking forward, Ollie Willars, looking for leads. He's found Adam Dixon in at screen. Gleeson back to Willars. Trying to build some possession, pull Hampstead and Westminster out of position. Gleeson into Gleghorn. Tries an audacious one-time ball. It's not what was needed from Mark Gleghorn. Him and Proctor on completely different wavelengths. And Hampstead and Westminster had the ball back. Beeston now no choice but to step up their press and put pressure on. Guys Brown easily plays it out to Melkert, and they switch the play over to the left-hand side. Bloomfield unlucky not to intercept the ball, and now it is desperation times for Beeston. They're pulling their goalkeeper Simon Hoodrun off the pitch, and for the second time today we see a kicking back in play. Ollie Willars will have the goalkeeping privileges for Beeston. And straight away Sam French goes and stands right on the goal line. Tactics surely for Hampstead now to play the ball into the D and try and find French. Quan Brown looking long, only finds Marshall over in the right hand corner. Beeston at the wrong end of the pitch. Marshall looking long, he's just found Cargo. Cargo with the goal gaping. Pushes it wide. Carl Marshall trying to aerial the ball out of defence, playing the ball straight to Cargo. And with the open goal, he couldn't quite get the shot away. And Beeston survive. But now here come Hampstead again. Calnan, will his goal be the decider? Marshall back to Willars. Beeston looking for that equaliser. For the second time in the game, trailing Hampstead and Westminster. Good skill by Richard Smith, and really nice work by Harry Martin to dance away from the Beeston players. Formerly of Beeston, Harry Martin. 1.5 minutes left. Hampstead and Westminster with possession. They've just gifted the ball straight back to Marshall. He thumps the ball into Steve Kelly. Hampstead and Westminster fans over there enjoying their team's defensive efforts. Stephen Lawrence on the left-hand side for Beeston. Sam French at the interception, but it still managed to get through to Richard Lawrence. The extra man Beeston trying to make it count, trying to work it over to the right-hand side. Marshall can't bring it under control. Carl Marshall. Is that the final chance of Beeston as we approach the final seconds of the game? Carl Marshall with the mistrap over the right-hand side. Quentin Brown, though, throws the ball straight to Willars. Need calm heads, Hampstead. Dixon fouled by Melkert. Gleghorn carrying the ball forward. Croft can't bring it under control, and that will be the game. I'm sure with 30 seconds to go, that was the chance for Croft. Beeston stepping up a high press. Quentin Brown aerialing it out to Harry Martin. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe there is one more chance left for Beeston. Gleason's going to have to get it in the D. He plays it into Martin, and Martin drags his feet to disrupt the path of the ball. 6 seconds to go. Gleason into Martin again. Here comes the full-time hooter. And there it is, Hampstead and Westminster through to the final against Surbiton, a repeat of last year's final. Hampstead and Westminster victorious, 2-1 against Beeston. The first goal coming through Rupert Shipley, equalised by Joe Sharp, and then Will Calnan with a fire-cracking winner to send Hampstead through to the final.
Spots in the final tomorrow afternoon. Earlier it was 7-2 East Grinstead 1, with Luke Taylor and James Royce on the score sheet. Identical score in our second semi-final. Hampstead Westminster 2, Beeston 1, Rupert Shipley. Will Calvin on the goal of the day. Hampstead Westminster into tomorrow's final. The scores from earlier in the Men's Hockey League playoffs: Abbott 2, University of Exeter 4, Georgians 6, Bowden 3. The Westminster women's matches, 2 o'clock start on pitch 2. Full lane, it's currently Slough 1, Stourport 0. Our next match on pitch 1 is in the Westminster Women's Hockey League, our first semi.
With a penalty, the mental process you have is you've got 8 seconds.
8 seconds can be a really, really long time in that moment. It's just a case of staying in it until it really is over.
You cut away all the noise and cut away all the meaning, and it's just you taking a penalty.